Hello, everybody, and welcome to episode 21 of the ReelTok Podcast. Our podcast is now of legal drinking age in the United States of America, so that's pretty impressive. And I was running the numbers, so 21 podcasts. We've combining Real Quicks as well. We've gotten over like 50 hours of content at this point. Break that down into minutes. That's like what 3,000 minutes. I feel like so.
That's
now,
a lot of minutes.
At this point, we've officially all been like talking on ReelTok for more time than we've made all of our TikToks combined, I feel like.
Oh yeah,
which is pretty crazy because like we've been on TikTok for all of us over a year at this point, but it's like we've posted so much content on ReelTok that it's like if you've been listening to this podcast, you've heard so much of us talk. So thank you all for doing that, and those who are subscribed, rating us on Apple and Spotify, continuing to support us. Definitely very appreciative of you. And yeah, 21 episodes in, and we're just gonna keep on rolling till the wheels fall
I haven't
off.
hit my year birthday yet.
Oh, on TikTok? When is that? I feel like it's got to be coming up soon.
No, mid-April.
Really? Damn. I must have you must have showed up on my For You page like immediately then, because I
gotta check mine. I think I might be past mine.
I've been keeping track because I want to do a video like George did. When you hit a year.
I'm going all the way back.
I think it's mid-April, somewhere mid-April.
Technically, I started a long time ago, but
yeah, mine was like last September or August.
Yeah, I remember I was one of the first subscribers of Seth's film reviews, and then Cam. I remember I just remember the first Cam video, something about Far From Home being the best Spider-Man. I was like, this dude's on some nonsense.
My first Cam video was the kissing booth reviews.
Yeah. Those are all yeah. Some things never change. Some things never change. But we have big announcement this week. So this week we are launching Patreon. We've been hinting at it for weeks at this point, but we've finally gotten together, had a business meeting with the boys, and we got all the tiers figured out. We got all the perks figured out. Honestly, we're all a little nervous in terms of what to expect. Like, did we overshoot it? Did we undershoot it? Like the one thing we're all worried about is like if we could just get so many people, which would be awesome. But then it's like we have some awesome perks on there, so make sure you go check them out because some of them are just like really genuinely awesome stuff. I won't go through all of them, but we're gonna have a Discord for subscribers to the Discord. Yeah, Discord to people who are subscribed to the Patreon. Pretty much, yeah, everyone, every single tier. Personalized video messages from us. You can choose what drafts we do. You can even host a real quick episode with the boys, movie watch-alongs, group Google Meeting hangouts where we all just come in and chat. All that and more is included in the Patreon, so go check that out. And on top of that, merch. I know we said at 5,000 subscribers we're going to be dropping merch, which is going to be kind of like a full slew of different sweatshirt, hats, all kinds of good options. But we're going to be launching maybe a thing or two here in a week or two. So a couple of merch items are going to be coming your way soon. So make sure you stay tuned for that. People in the Discord will also be the first to hear about that and get a discount for that merch as well. And then final announcement is next week we are going to be announcing the ReelTok collection. We've been hinting at that one since like episode 2 at this point. But yeah.
Yeah, we've been talking about that one for so long.
We went from subtly dropping it, name dropping in the podcast to just being blatantly straight up just discussing it for minutes on the podcast. But it'll finally be coming out next week, so make sure you are following our letterbox to see it officially. And we're also going to be doing a real quick to break it all down in a week or so to get everything all figured out. So with all of those announcements out of the way, let's jump right into today's episode. How is everyone doing? Cameron, how was your week? What have you been up to? Let's talk about it.
Doing better, doing well. Good week. Just work's getting a lot, lots of real work to do. So that's all right. You may notice, like behind me, I don't have a crib in my room anymore. We officially moved Bailey out. He turned 6 months today, actually. Well, not Monday, but Sunday while we're recording. So today. So yeah, he's out. He's on his own. He's officially in the world, gone.
Big moves.
And then also I added another Lego to my shelves up there, a little Luke Skywalker helmet, as well as a arc reactor.
You should just make your back, because like the crib leaving and that new Lego, I would have never noticed in a million years. Every week you should just change one tiny thing about your background, and people in the comments have to say like what changed.
Honestly, I should. But those are really the big things that happened to me this week. I don't think anything else was going on. Kind of a boring week other than work. So kick it along to Seth, I guess.
Yeah.
Also,
Seth,
are you guys milk drinkers? I'm drinking milk right now.
I am
in my Homelander era.
It's kind of embarrassing, honestly.
No, I respect it. I respect it.
I like milk.
Well, hold on. What kind of milk is that? Like we talking dairy skim here? We talking whole?
2%.
Yeah,
2%. It's all 2%.
Wait, what does 2% equate to? Like semi or?
It's the Monster. It's the
what do you
energy
have?
drink of milk.
So we've got like it's
just
like
2% fat.
skimmed, semi-skimmed, and then full fat.
It's probably semi-skim.
Semi-skim.
I gotta assume it's semi.
Yeah.
But it's not like 50% fat. It's 2% fat.
Why do we have no fat, non-fat milk,
too.
whole fat milk, and then 1% and 2%? Like, is there that much of a difference?
2% is just gas, man.
The only one you can drink is the middle one. The only one you can drink is the middle. That'd be 2%.
Bro just sips the weirdest concoctions every single episode. We get Pedialyte, we get
Pedialyte milk.
Dude, that reminds me of the scene from the iconic scene from Napoleon Dynamite where he's just at the table flirting with the girl and she's like drinking skim milk. He's like, "Why are you drinking skim milk? It's because you think you're fat. Because you're not."
You think you're fat? I love that, bro.
I have to rewatch that movie.
That's a great
I
film.
haven't seen that shit in so long.
Seth, how are you doing?
Oh my God, Seth, move along. Sorry,
Yeah,
that's so funny.
Pretty good. Obviously, I went to the early Knock at the Cabin screening on Friday, which was great. I'll touch on it a bit later, but I can't really go into too much detail. But I'll say a couple of things that I can say. But the event was nice. I went around London after, went for a drink. I actually got noticed by 2 sets of people in a random bar in central London.
Hell yeah!
So shout out to you two, but I definitely went a bit flustered. I get so embarrassed. Like George, you said it before. It's like weird.
I get so red in the face. Like I love when people come up and say hi to me, but it's like, damn, like I don't know how to react to this. Like I dap them up, just say thank you and whatever. I lose my vocabulary when people talk to me.
Definitely, I was like, oh, thanks. Don't know what to say. But yeah, it was good. Went for dinner on the evening as well, which was nice, around kind of central London, Soho area. George, did you go to Soho when you were in London?
Yes, we did.
Yeah, so around that area, which is really nice, where all the cinemas are in the line, and the theaters and whatever.
Yep.
And then went for breakfast next morning. Got back yesterday, and apart from that, it's been a pretty busy week. To be fair, I'll just touch on Knock at the Cabin now because I can't really do a fucking review on it anyway.
We'll review it next week.
Yeah, I really enjoyed it, and I think it's got M. Night's charm, which is not for everyone. However, I think this is one of his most accessible films in a long time. I'm talking this is
like a Sixth Sense kind of thing.
I mean, not comparatively in terms of what it is, but maybe in terms.
I feel like that's a pretty
Yeah, I guess so. From what ratings I'm seeing, it's still quite divisive. But if M. Night brings out a film, it's always going to be divisive, of course. But I would say it was a bit more straightforward than I anticipated it being, which isn't a negative. I still really enjoyed it. I had a great time with it, and the conversation about the best wrestler turned actor shouldn't exist anymore. I think Batiste was really good, really good. And it was a good time. Like I said, I'll do a full review next week. I think I can review it on the 1st, and then I'll post it on TikTok, whatever. But I had a really good time with it. It's got the M. Night charm, but I do think it's a lot more accessible. So that makes me think that maybe you guys might, maybe not love it, but enjoy it more than Old, which I believe Old was his last film, wasn't it? 2021.
Yeah, 2021.
Yeah, I didn't like Old. I didn't hate Old, but I didn't like Old. It was like a 2.5.
Right, it was very middle of the road.
Yeah.
I didn't hate it. I was just it was. The thing I appreciate about him is he's very unique, and that's never going to work for anybody because it's just so experimental some of the time. But I think, like I said, this one's probably quite accessible to a lot of audiences. It's pretty just a thriller. It's just a straightforward thriller with some M. Night moments here and there. That makes sense. But yeah, week's been pretty good. Had a good time. Pretty busy, and yeah, that's about it.
Nice. George, how's it going? Stayed up late / woke up early for the Australian Open. Joker winning, but how you been?
I've been great. The Australian Open season always hurts because I'm waking up every single day at 2 a.m. to watch the big matches.
You go to sleep and then wake up at 2 a.m.
I go to sleep and then wake up, and then
Why would you stay up till 2 a.m.?
Bro, try being a fucking UFC fan, man.
Yeah,
I stay up until 6.
Thank you. I know. But yeah, it's good. Obviously, I love watching tennis, and I love watching these tennis players play on the biggest stage possible. So I'm going to wake up regardless of who's playing. I just want to watch tennis as much as possible. But other than that, it's been a relatively straightforward week with work. If you're in New York, this weather's been sucky lately, and I'm going to complain for a minute. We haven't seen the sun in 2 weeks. It's been cloudy and rainy and shitty. Like, give me the sun for one fucking day. That's all I ask. I went to the Infinity Pool screening on Monday, which was amazing. Shout out Sophie for graciously joining me as my +1. Lovely lady. Other than that, yeah, standard week of work and just getting to check a couple of movies off my watch list.
Nice.
You didn't look. Sorry, go on.
No, go ahead, Seth.
I was just gonna say you didn't love Infinity Pool, did you? You were like down the middle.
Yeah,
I've seen that be. I mean, it's a Cronenberg film. It's going to be very like.
Yeah, I've seen. I mean, it's a very polarizing movie. I mean, obviously, I think I gave it a 2.5 out of 5. I saw Tyler gave it a 3.5 out of 5. I've seen some of my mutuals on Letterboxd give it a 4.5 out of 5. I've seen high 1 out of 5. So it's a very polarizing film. Tyler and I will get into a little bit when we do our review, but yeah, I didn't hate it. I didn't absolutely. It wasn't like an excruciating 2 hours of my life, but it's a very forgettable movie that I will probably never rewatch.
Did you like it more than Crimes of the Future?
Slightly, yes. I think Infinity Pool had a little bit more substance. I truly think Crimes of the Future is one of the most boring screenplays I've ever sat through in my entire life. And I'm sorry, Tyler. I know you love the movie. I'm very sorry.
It's not a movie I'm gonna die on a hill for.
But yeah, truly, I just didn't love. I mean, I gave Crimes of the Future a 2 out of 5. So they were aspects I enjoyed. So it's not like I rated Infinity Pool so much higher.
Yeah, I get it.
Yeah, well, we'll get into that in a bit, but yeah, George stayed up late for the Australian Open. I stayed up for the first 2 sets, and then it became pretty apparent what direction the match was going to go in. But I messed myself up because I was watching Sundance films till late last night, till 1:20 a.m. my time, and on the ESPN app it said the Australian Open final was Sunday at 1:30 a.m. So my dumb brain was like, oh, so Sunday night, tonight when we're filming this on Sunday, then after midnight hits 1:30, that's going to be when it's on. So I'm going to have to go to bed a little early tonight and then watch it and take a nap. But then it was 1:22 and I was about to go to bed just after watching a movie. And I was like, oh, this means in 8 minutes this thing's starting, doesn't it? So I was like, shit, because it's Sunday first thing. So I watched it, stayed up to 2:30, 3-ish, and then went to bed. And then now here we are filming this.
Your text made me laugh when you were explaining how you messed that up.
Yeah, I was so mad. I was like, oh, no, this started to 8 minutes, isn't it?
Because it's the worst thing, because you probably were like, yes, I get to go to bed now. And then you were like, shit, now I got to stay awake for another 2.5 hours.
Yeah. But, I mean, well, I would have wanted a more competitive match, but at least for me, I could go to bed. Because, it was one of those where it's, pretty quickly obvious, yeah, this is going to be going in that direction where Joker's just going to take the win. But, yeah, this week's been crazy packed. I was at Universal Studios last weekend, plus Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Universal Studios Orlando. Had a blast, honestly. It kind of actually exceeded my expectations for what it would be. Harry Potter World was sick. You got both at Orlando, you got both Diagon Alley, as well as Hogwarts and Hogsmeade. Super cool. Jurassic Park World, awesome.
40. What wand did you guys buy? Which wand?
I got Snape's, and she got Luna Lovegood, her favorite character.
Luna.
Yeah,
I like Luna. She's great.
Imagine not loving Luna.
I know people who don't like Luna. They say she's annoying. Those people are wrong.
Dolores Umbridge is annoying.
Yeah,
but you can't not like her as a character. Though. She is.
She's a shit.
Wow.
But yeah, that was pretty fun. Getting the wands and doing all the interactive stuff they have there. But all in all, I was pretty impressed with Universal Studios. The 4D rides I think are super fun. The Amazing Spider-Man ride was freaking sick. Can make people nauseous for sure, but I thought 4D rides were just a blast, and they do those really well.
As a guy who has not been to a theme park in what's got to be 5, 6, maybe 10 years, what are the 4D rides like?
So basically, they just put you in
4D ride.
They just have things coming at you, and I assume
no. So basically, they put you in a go-kart-esque thing with a couple of rows where there's probably 10 people in them, and you're on a track like a normal roller coaster would be. but you're put in this like huge building that's just like all screens. So the roller coaster's like, so for Spider-Man, for example, like the roller coaster will like sling you to make you feel like you're swinging on a web, but then on the screen it's showing like a person like in a city swinging. So it feels like pretty immersive. Like that's
okay. That's kind of what I assume.
Really?
It's kind of like did you guys ever go to a Regal theater? Have you ever been to Regal? They have the little roller coaster.
The roller coaster intro.
That's just what I assume it is. That's just what I assume it is.
But then it also has like water elements that'll spray in the face. Yeah. And anytime like heat elements, there'll be a fire.
That's where they get the 4D from.
But yeah, they were pretty cool, honestly. I was a big fan of them. But yeah, then after Universal Studios Orlando came back, and now I'm grinding through Sundance. I'm 17 films into the Sundance watch list.
And that was
when do you have to be done by? Is that tonight?
Sunday, yeah, tonight, 11:59.
So you're gonna miss because of football, right?
I'm probably gonna be multitasking for a couple. I've been pretty strategic with my watches in terms of like I'm trying to get all the ones that I really wanted to watch because I have a bunch of them in there that I just like threw on. And also I saved a lot of like the 80-minute ones today, like the absolute shortest ones. So hopefully I can just breeze through them because a lot of the ones I've been watching are like 2 hours, 5 minutes. So it's been taking up more time. But yeah, that's been really good. I'll go into that a little bit later as well. But
you've been doing full like Letterboxd reviews for each one, haven't you?
I do that for every movie though.
That's crazy that you do. I can't imagine how much time that takes to do a full review, to actually watch the film, and to do everything else in life in general.
Like, you know what you should do, Tyler?
What?
You know what you should do, Tyler? You should work for the best review site in history, Rotten Tomatoes. You should become
I actually looked into like the process at one point.
I did too
involved.
A while
it's
back.
quite involved.
It's kind of absurd. I did a while back.
Wasn't there something like you need like 4 years of experience or something for like an actual publication or like
bullshit?
I think we could technically use like ReelTok Podcast as one, but we have to wait till we hit 4 years.
Gotta wait till 4 years.
Yeah, that's absurd, man.
Yeah. It's not that serious, bro, for someone to just say, like, because they just always have just like it's literally Letterboxd reviews, because people will just say like a one-liner, and that's like just a quick one sentence. It's like you had to wait 4 years to write that this film's dull, and that's it.
I looked into that when I like first got into movies, and I was like, yeah, not for me. Not my thing.
I had the same exact takeaway. But Cam, what have you been watching this week? You have quite the range of shows and movies listed here.
The only one I want to go into is I watched That 90s Show. So Emma and I just finished That 70s Show probably Tuesday.
Oh, you watched the whole thing? Like rewatched that whole series?
I didn't watch every episode, but Emma watched every episode. I watched a good amount, at night when I was home. But so That 90s Show could have been complete shit, and it wasn't. So therefore, I was a bit like, I was pretty happy with it. Like it could have been a reboot. That's like one of the worst things I've ever seen. And this is not an original take. I've seen this a bunch, but like they made, have you guys seen That 70s Show?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Well, they made Kitty and Red like basically the main characters, and they're the funniest on the show. Like they're funny. And then the kids they're there. And I don't know if it's fair to like say this, but like you can't recreate an Ashton Kutcher and a Mila Kunis and Topher Grace. I don't know what Donna's name off the top of my head is, or Fez's real name. And sorry guys, you aren't as big. Actually, Fez is on
Fez is huge in the kids world.
He's on some like CSI Miami or something now, I feel like. But Donna was like the only one that kind of came back for more than 1.3 episodes, because everyone's in one episode and then some people come back for like a third of, or like a scene in a later episode, but Donna's in a couple. And I don't know, the kids like they're fine. There were a couple funny jokes. Red's doing his thing where he's talking about putting his foot in people's ass. It's all the same beats, but I thought it could be like the absolute worst thing ever, and it wasn't. So I was happy. That's about as glorifying of a review as I can give it. Is it wasn't complete shit.
That's funny because like I feel like I haven't seen a ton of reviews for it, but that's pretty much the same beat from everyone. They're like, I was expecting this to be shit, and it just ended up being below average.
Exactly. So it should have been complete shit. Emma didn't like it as much as me, but I think she expected it to be better. My parents like it. They watched it, or my dad watched it. So I hope they don't get upset about my review, but they liked it. But Also, it's only 10 episodes, 22 minutes an episode or 20-something minutes. Sitcoms are supposed to be 25, maybe 22 episodes, 20 minutes, whatever. But come on, let's get back to sitcoms being 22, 24 episodes.
Are they coming back with a season 2, or is it just a one-time thing?
They gave options for a season 2, but it's kind of I'm sure they left it on where like they could go to a season 2. They definitely
it's Netflix, right?
Yeah, they definitely could end it.
Season 2.
I don't know if it made any money, but it's kind of funny. Like, it's Eric's daughter, right? The Eric Foreman's daughter. He's in the first episode and then just leaves her with Kitty and Red, and he's out. He's gone. He does not return. Donna comes and picks her up at the end. Topher Grace was definitely just like, fine, I'll come back for an episode, and that's it. I'm not doing this shit anymore. Because he also, I didn't know he wasn't in the last episode or the last season of that 70s show. I didn't realize that, so I'm sure he was done with it then. He's done with it now. He doesn't want back in this universe. But now I won't touch on these. But Eurovision, Triangle of Sadness, Zombieland, and The Wedding Year I watched this week. On top of the couple movies I'll talk about later, but. Triangle of Sadness I liked. I don't think anything was particularly amazing. Eurovision I wanted to like more, Tyler. I'm sorry.
No, that one I know is not.
Yeah, no. That one felt like, to me, I'm like the biggest Pitch Perfect fan. Definitely the biggest on this pod, but that to me felt like a Pitch Perfect that I just didn't like as much, and I can see why people wouldn't like Pitch Perfect if they like I feel like that. And then Zombieland, I remember it being funnier. And The Wedding Year is a 2019 Sarah Hyland movie, who's the oldest daughter in Modern Family, if you don't know who that is. And it was really bad.
I was going to say, what's the average Letterboxd rating on that?
I don't remember the average, but I gave it a 1. And it's pretty tough when Emma doesn't like it either. But it's like they have like, what is it? I don't know if it's like 20-something weddings to go to. It's a couple. They have like 20-something weddings. They decide they'll go to 9 in a year. And like, when you think about it, like 9 weddings in a whole year, it's not that much. It's just 9 weekends. Like I'm going to 3 in a month in June. So like you can split them up for a year, I don't know. It just felt like it was a little exaggerated how tolling 9 weddings is. They couldn't do all of them. They could only do 9, but yeah, it sucked. It doesn't matter. We can move on.
Seth, what have you been watching this week?
I watched Skinnamarink. Didn't like it.
But you did like it more than us.
Yes, I did like it more than you, but I didn't like it. It was I liked the first like 30 minutes, and then the gimmick started to like wear off, and I was like, I'm fucking bored now. But I do think it's one of those. It's like you're either gonna love it or you're gonna hate it, and it's not for me. I watched Banshees, which is a 2022 release. Not sure if any of you've heard of it. Great film.
Couldn't even find me a thumb.
No, but to be fair, I was gonna go through it, and then you already found one.
Where did
you find the picture? Because I tried to look for it.
I watched Banshees, but I just skimmed through, and I was like, I knew the general area, so I just got to like, and then I went to an illegal site and screenshotted it from there, because on HBO Max you can't screenshot. So
really?
Yeah, that shit's mad annoying. You can't get around it on phones or computers. It's so
you can't do it on Netflix, HBO Max,
really?
Prime, like Apple. You can't screenshot on your phone.
Yeah, like somehow they back end the technology, so no matter what screen recording or screen cap you'd use, the screen ends up being black when you save the image or the video.
Mm-hmm.
That's so crazy. I didn't know that.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. So I had to pirate it in order to take a screenshot of it. Bleep me out.
just for a tweet.
Yeah, for a single tweet.
What else?
I watched Take Shelter, which I would recommend all of you to watch, actually. It was Michael Shannon and Jessica Chastain were the leads, and it was basically about a man suffering from schizophrenia, from a lot of mental health issues, who basically is plagued by like a series of like apocalyptic visions. And he has to like save his family from himself, kind of thing. It was really good. He was incredible in it, and so was she. To be fair, I watched Kotoko. Yeah, amazing. Loved it. And then I also watched, on the same day, I watched another film from the same director called Tokyo Fist, which was just insane. I was really tired, and then it gave me a headache. So I don't know. I didn't have the best experience with that one. But it was fine. I watched Austin Powers the other day.
Why?
All-time classic.
Because
Come
it's
on.
because it's hilarious, because it's brilliant, and because
I know George doesn't like that.
Bro just wants to torture himself.
It's
Austin
funny.
Bro, the first Austin Powers, man, the comedy's funny.
Mhm.
I will always stand by that.
It's funny.
And then I watched a few other things, but nothing really major. And then obviously I watched last night I watched Help, which is a Netflix film. Oh no, it's not Netflix. I don't know. I know it's not a Netflix film, but it's on Netflix at the moment. It's Jodie Comer and Stephen Graham are the leads, and she's like a nurse in a residential old people care home, whatever. And it's during the time when COVID came about and how the government in the UK acted with the nursing homes, acted with people during COVID. And it is the only COVID-related film I've seen that is genuinely great. Because let's be honest, like, coronavirus films are shit majority of the time, and they shouldn't be there. But this one went into, like, the tragedies and stuff, and it made me cry. It was like The Father kind of crying level. It was like, for me, it was really hit me. It was great. Jodie Comer is just fantastic as well as Stephen Graham. But yeah, that's pretty much. Oh, and I watched Big as well because Anna wanted to watch it, and it was fine. It was a bit kind of freaked me out a bit when she wasn't bothered by the fact it was like an 8-year-old that she just kissed, and she was like staying with him, talking to him, which is a bit weird. But yeah, it was fine. But yeah, watched a few things this week. That's about it.
Nice. Yeah, for me this week. Well, I had Sundance obviously, but before that, long flights because, like I was saying last week, Phoenix to Orlando is like stretching the entire nation. So I had flights where I was able to watch like 3 movies on each one. So I've just been crossing stuff off the watch list this week. Finally watched Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind. Really liked it. Didn't love it, but really.
What did you rate it?
Liked it. I think a 4.5, maybe a 4. It was right on the border. I think I ended up bumping it up to 4.5 though. So really liked it. Just didn't quite impact me as much as it seems most.
Would you not say like a 4.5 is kind of like loving it? Do you know what I mean?
Well, yeah, but I've seen so many TikToks of people saying like their favorite films of all time, and a lot of them have like Eternal Sunshine. Yeah. So it's like I feel like people hold it super high.
It's up there on my list.
I feel like we've talked this before, but Love is a 5 out of 5, Seth. Like absolutely adore Love. It's 5 out of 5.
That was my argument. You were disagreeing with me or agreeing with me?
No, I was. You said, wouldn't you say a 4.5 is Love? Like I loved it.
I would consider like Love being significantly higher than the average rating. Does that make sense?
Ignore me.
Yeah,
I just
fair.
want.
I get where you're going with Seth, but also watched Ratatouille. Classic, iconic. Been a long time since I rewatched it.
The best Pixar film.
One of the more disappointing animated films in terms of as a kid watching it made me just want Ratatouille to eat actual Ratatouille so bad. So the most bussin' thing ever to be on film. Then I had it as an adult and like this is just like this critic was just way too in love with such a average food. I mean it's fine, but it's like you know it's like when you watch SpongeBob as a kid and you like think a Krabby Patty would be the best burger you've ever had. Like and you can't actually obviously have a real Krabby Patty, but the same thing with Ratatouille. But you can have Ratatouille the dish, and I was just like, this is just underwhelming.
We should do a draft of like animated food.
Fictional foods.
Fictional foods.
Like shout out Spirited Away, you know, in the first section with the parents. So they turn to
yeah.
Oh, that food looks so good.
Yes. Shout out Miss Incredible's dumpster.
Hey, that is no doubt. When I was 7 watching that.
As respectfully as possible, I'd munch.
That was a legendary moment right there. That was legendary.
I think I'm quitting.
I also watched The Happening. We watched that.
Why?
I was Happening this week as well. Great film.
It was just like on Hulu or something. Like it was just we were in our hotel room and it was just like we just turned on a streaming service. And we're like, let's put this on, and we were both just like, yeah, it was kind of shit. The Sun. So yeah, I saw The Sun, and I posted a full TikTok review on this. That was like the most angry I've ever been since I've left a theater before in my life. Spoiler alerts for it coming up just real quick. So it's by the same director as The Father. It's his follow-up. It's supposed to. I mean, and someone made a hilarious TikTok comment. It was like The Father, the Son is next. The Holy Spirit going to be his next film. But this is basically about a son who's going through depression. Hugh Jackman's his dad, and then Anthony Hopkins is Hugh Jackman's dad, and I don't know. The message just didn't sit right with me. I feel like it was like low key, kind of like a dangerous film for people struggling with mental health issues. Because basically, like again, spoilers, but again, it's not just me. Like everyone's rating this film very poorly. Basically, the kid's living with his mom, very depressed, self-harming, skipping school. Things aren't working out, so he goes to move with Hugh Jackman, his dad, to try to get a new school, new environment. Same thing happens. He starts harming himself, skipping school once again. So he starts going to therapy. Therapy doesn't do anything for him. He's still harming himself super bad, so he has to go to the hospital. So his mom didn't work out, dad didn't work out, therapy's not working out. So then he goes to a psych ward for a week to try to get help there. And then his parents check him out of the psych ward, and then they drive home, and immediately when they get home, he goes to the bathroom and shoots himself and kills himself. So it's like basically showing like nothing you can do this kid was just doomed. Like nothing will ever help him. And I'm like, I just feel like, I don't know. It just didn't sit right with me to portray that in a movie, to be like basically like, this kid's fate is sealed. No matter how much help you get him or avenues or resources you try to do, it's just done for. It's supposed to be a cautionary tale for parents to like notice warning signs. But like the fact that like they were showing him going to therapy and a psych ward and getting prescription treatment and all this stuff, it's just kind of like, what do you even do at that point? Trying to like help someone help this kid in that movie. So yeah, really just depressing. But like the acting was so bad, except for Hugh Jackman and Anthony Hopkins, that like it didn't get me emotionally, because it was like very sad movie, but like I wasn't emotionally invested. But Hugh Jackman was great. Anthony Hopkins was in the movie for literally 100 seconds, and they show like 30 seconds of that in the trailer, so kind of hilarious. And they just wanted to throw on like an Oscar winner on the movie, because he was just in the movie for 2 minutes, then he's just gone forever. And then Sundance Films was what I've been just cranking out since then. I'm at like 17 now at this point, and I have like 9 more I'm gonna try to get to today, which is just not gonna happen. But I'm gonna try to, because I had to pay money for those. And I'll do like if you want, shameless plug, follow my like Letterboxd or TikTok, because I'll be doing like my top 5 Sundance films and doing like a whole ranking of them. But just some like notable ones that I really enjoyed. I texted you guys about this Divinity, or well, I didn't say the name, but this was like a horror sci-fi dystopian black and white movie that starred Bella Thorne and Rico from Hannah Montana. That dude's still like 4'7". Like he was just tiny in this movie. But no, this was just the most weird, twisted, wild film, basically about a scientist has created an ability to get immortality, and basically like there's a ton of like real life bodybuilders cast in this movie, because like if you take his, like he has the serum basically to make you just like a superhuman, perfect specimen, and then like basically the poor and the have-nots are starting to try and take him down. But this movie was just bizarre. This totally feels like it's going to be a cult classic in no time. Young, Wild, Free. That's my 4th film right now ranked, so I'm just going to go through my top 5 quick. Very similar twist to a very famous movie that everyone kind of knows. I don't know. I don't want to spoil it, but like, whatever. I'm going to spoil it. It's basically like a Fight Club ending. No, like, what? This movie, so the thing about Sundance movies, you might not see this for a year. This might not even be in theaters or, like, streaming services ever for a year. You will forget this movie's name before you ever see it on a streaming service. Promise you that. So, basically a Fight Club movie. But
does
I can cut that off if you want to.
He's muted right now?
I'm assuming not by the sound.
He doesn't even have his headphones on.
Yeah, I don't know. Cam,
to be fair, I muted it. I turned volume down.
I figured you'd just keep talking, so I was just giving you a little bit of time.
Yeah, fair. But
I turned the volume down for the whole of the sun. I was watching George's.
I don't want it spoiled
every time.
Cam, like this is a movie I feel like you'll never even end up seeing, but because it's not doing that well. I liked it. This is one like Seth was talking about. You rate it higher than everyone else. This has like a 2.3 on Letterboxd, so it's like very low. Then a Daisy Ridley film.
Was that the one you? Sorry, I thought you were talking about the one that you really liked.
Well, I mean, that's my 4th highest film right now. I gave it 4 stars, but everyone like it's not.
The one that you gave like a 4.5. The 4.
Oh no. That one's coming to Netflix soon. But then number 3 right now is Sometimes I Think About Dying with Daisy Ridley. Of course, everyone knows her from the Star Wars sequels. She was great in a dramatic role. I think she needs to be put in more films like that. I gave that one a 4 star as well. Then I gave it 4.5 stars to Shortcomings, a rom-com drama. I loved it. Like I think it's a movie Cam will absolutely love as well. It's just like hits all the beats that you want in a rom-com. Pretty funny, flawed protagonist. Pretty much just checks all the boxes. But then my favorite so far is Fair Play, and this one was purchased by Netflix for $20 million. and like there's no release date, but March would probably be the earliest. Then maybe December is like the latest. At some point, it's coming to Netflix this year. Psychological thriller, basically about these two. Like this is no spoilers, don't worry. It's just like the basic plot. Basically, two people are married and they work at the same investment firm. So George, I feel like you'll love all the investment banker stuff in this movie, but they're married, working at a firm, and basically like the Alden Ehrenreich is who's playing the guy, Solo from the Solo movie, Star Wars movie, and he's playing the husband. And there's rumors that he's going to get promoted to the PM job that just opened up, but it ends up that his wife's the one who gets promoted, and then from there, she gets successful, he gets upset about that, and that's the plot, and you go from there. So yeah, that movie was awesome. I gave it an 8.9 out of 10 for 4.5 out of 5 stars. Incredible acting. Like I don't know, is Alden Ehrenreich, have you guys seen him in anything other than Solo, a Star Wars movie? Because he was awesome in this. Like I didn't really think anything much of him in Solo, but
he's about to be an Oppenheimer.
True.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah,
he's also in either Guardians 3 or Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania. Just to be that guy. Yeah.
As what?
Fuck if I know, man. Probably a mystery role.
Okay.
Tyler, it's got that Eddie Martin in as well, who's he was in like The World's End. He was also in Tyrannosaur. He's in Gangs of New York, V for Vendetta. He's a really good actor as well.
Yeah, like the name recognition of the film's like escaping me, but there's several actors that you'll when you watch it on Netflix, there's like at least 5 or 6. You're like, oh, I've seen you in several other things before. So like a pretty solid cast. What's up?
Sorry. He's in Ironheart, and it seems he's playing a villain of some sort. So Ironheart, not the movies I named. Sorry.
Okay. Well, it sounds like he's starting to get cast around more. So Sundance has been fun. Virtual has been fun. It sucks because they don't have every film available to you. Because like just
the question is, would you do it again?
Yeah, but I think I go in person. I go in person. Oh, virtual. I mean, if like there's just circumstances next year that I just absolutely cannot go in person. But I feel like a lot of the big heavy hitters you can't even watch virtually.
Can you get tickets pretty easily in person?
Yeah, you just have to do it in like December or something.
Where is it?
Salt Lake City, Utah, and another Park City, Utah. So just in the snowy mountains.
That's kind of hype.
Yeah, it looks like a super beautiful area, but
yeah,
and it's kind of like a weird area to think about, just all like the Hollywood bigwigs going for like a week, like it's just kind of in the middle of Utah. Like it's pretty dope, honestly. But yeah, the virtual experience was fine. I just wish you could see more films, and like Infinity Pool, for example, which we're about to talk about. Like there's a whole George, I don't know if you know this, George. There's a whole scene that's been cut out from the theatrical versions, and we'll never see it, but it was at Sundance. And Alexander Skarsgård is probably a double, but his dong is just fully getting worked on. And this is like a whole scene that's just like completely X-rated that's been taken out. I don't know. Unless you get the DVD, you'll probably never even end up seeing it. But yeah, some dongage is shown of Alexander Skarsgård again. It probably isn't actually his, but some dongage is shown. Well, and I'm kind of underselling it. From what I'm hearing from people at Sundance, some is not the way to describe it. Just a lot of dongage. But one thing that was interesting is just like one of the news stories from Sundance before we get into Infinity Pool is Magazine Dreams is one of the more anticipated films. It has Jonathan Majors in it, and he's playing a bodybuilder that's just trying to become the greatest bodybuilder, win competitions. And he's great in the movie. Like, I didn't love the movie, but his performance is incredible. But when they premiered it, because Sundance at the end of the day is a film festival where people vote for awards, and there's like a whole jury of judges that go to all the screenings and watch them and rank them and rate them and then give the ultimate final awards that push movies like Coda on to being, Best Picture and stuff like that, and all these other films. So it's pretty important to do well in those. And Magazine Dreams at their premiere, their subtitles, which I also noticed didn't work on virtual because their subtitles weren't syncing up. Basically, their subtitle machine was broken, and one of the jurors needs them. She's a member of the deaf community. So gave her like a subtitle thing. It wasn't working. So then like 30 minutes into the premiere, all the jurors, like in solidarity, all just got up and left. So like, I don't know what that means for Magazine Dreams. Like if that just like fucked them over. But basically like they asked, like, can you put subtitles on the screen? The director was like, no, like I'm not going to put it on the screen for everyone. And then like just like all the jury just got up and just like walked out of the movie in the middle of the premiere. So if you're a director making a movie and Jonathan Majors is supposed to like, he's obviously having an incredible year, and this is, I mean, he's in a lot of huge movies, but this is probably like the most where he's taking a swing in terms of a full dramatic performance where he has to carry the entire movie himself. gotta suck to just have like all the important people that are watching your movie just all get up and leave 30 minutes in. So we'll see. It hasn't been purchased by anyone, I don't think, yet. So I don't know if it's going to be coming to theaters ever, going to be coming to streaming services. But you have to figure out the name like Jonathan Majors. It's got to be somewhere, and we're all going to see it because it was a very strong performance.
Are these are all counted as 2023 releases, aren't they?
Yeah, they are. So yeah, kind of like I was mentioning.
How many
earlier,
are you on now?
17.
Already?
Yeah. Oh, 2023 releases total?
I'm on 1.
I'm on 26.
Jesus.
Wow. I'm on 1.
26 is still cracked.
All in
I'm
all,
in second place with 7.
Oh wait, no. Are you counting the ones that say 2022, like a Pale Blue Eye, for example?
Oh,
Yeah, we did this last week.
Yes, we're counting it.
No, I
If
just
it's
meant
not.
on Letterboxd.
Okay, I'm at like 21.
Draft.
21.
I've
are listed
officially
as
made the
2023.
decision that if it's not considered for an Oscar, like in this upcoming Oscar, then it's a 2023 release. That's
Okay, makes sense. I mean,
because
different
like
for you,
Babylon
Kanye,
is
yeah.
coming out for you, Seth, but it's considered for these upcoming Oscars, so it's a 2022. Do we?
Yeah,
We're not going into
Do
this.
we disagree?
We're not going
We're
into
going to do
Babylon's
this
in my-
every
I'm
single
Alright.
week.
I'm
Alright,
vetoing
fuck
this.
it.
We're
Fuck
pushing
you.
through it.
Babylon's in my 2022 ranking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fair. Fair.
So you're arguing here, and everyone's in
No,
agreement.
but
Oh my God.
okay.
Moving past this. So, let's get into Infinity Pool. This was a Sundance premiere, but then also had a premiere in New York City, which George had the pleasure of attending with Sophie and Alex Coleman. Shout out to him.
Yep.
So yeah, how was you kind of touched on it before, but how was the premiere experience, and give your overall thoughts of the film? We kind of foreshadowed it earlier in the pod, but let's get into Infinity Pool a bit.
Yeah, the event was great. So it was interesting. Every other event that I've been to had an after party. This one actually had a pre-screening cocktail hour. So it was at
most of yours have after ones, then.
yeah, most of the ones I've been to have had after parties. This one had a pre-screening
The
cocktail
only
hour.
2 I've been to were all pre and no after.
Interesting.
Other than
Yeah,
those.
so it was cool. So it was at like this Chinese restaurant. It was cool. They had like the red carpet little thing set up with a picture that me and Sophie and me and Alex took. They had food, they had drinks, they had guys dressed up as like the characters from Infinity Pool wearing like those gross ass masks, whatever they are. So yeah, the event was really cool. And then after the screening, Brandon Cronenberg, Alexander Skarsgård, and Mia Goth came out and did like a little Q&A.
He was on that lead.
What's that?
He was on the dog lead, wasn't he?
Yeah, he came out on the belt around his neck. That was funny. And we got those belts. They gave us like a little goodie bag, and in them was the belt. So
It's wild.
yeah.
Oh,
So
God.
we'll see if that gets used. Sorry, that was for Cam. The moderator at this Infinity Pool Q&A was horrific. Super unprepared. Asked the most awkward questions I've ever encountered. At one point, didn't know what to say, so he looks at Alexander Skarsgård and goes, "Do you have any questions for Brandon Cronenberg?"
What?
It was me and Sophie were literally sitting there like we had like I had questions on like if they asked like for audience questions, my hand was about to shoot up. Like I was ready to go. This guy, and apparently he's a certified critic in New York. I don't know what the fuck that means, but he's got to be doing something well to be moderating this type of Q&A. It was pitiful. It was a pitiful performance, and that kind of just left a sour taste in my mouth. The movie, and I'll say this a million times, I'm not a Cronenberg guy. I love Videodrome. That is the best of the bunch in terms of Cronenberg films. I still haven't seen The Fly, so maybe that'll change. But for the most part, I think both Cronenbergs just prioritize shock value over substance, and I think that's what this movie really just came down to. It was just a compilation of a bunch of fucked up scenes that, there was a clear beginning to the story, there was a clear end. Everything in the middle just felt like Brandon Cronenberg shot a bunch of scenes and just tossed them into the movie in a random order and just hope for the best. So it didn't really land for me. I also just expected it to be way more grotesque than it was. So I'm still shocked that I'm giving it such a low score because I thought the grotesque nature of this film was going to turn me off, but it wasn't even as bad as I thought it was. It was just such a poor, forgettable screenplay with characters I just didn't care about, characters whose motives weren't fleshed out, whose motives just weren't like just laid right in front of my eyes, allowing me to connect with them. Mia Goth and Alexander Skarsgård are fantastic. I don't think that needs to be said. We know what they're capable of as actors and actresses, especially Mia coming off of a huge 2022 that she had. So overall, I went with 2.5 out of 5. Like I said to you guys before we started the podcast, I wasn't like in agonizing pain watching this movie. There were some very, very interestingly shot sequences using like strobe lights and neon lights and a lot of quick editing cuts that like genuinely were like fun to watch. Like it was a good bit of technical filmmaking, but again, the screenplay was not it for me. And unfortunately, if you don't give me characters and a story I care about, it doesn't matter how fantastic your visuals and your technical aspects are. I'm not going to care about your movie too much.
Yeah, totally. I'm going to just do a quick paragraph summary from what Letterboxd has as the synopsis of this film. So, while staying at an isolated island resort, James and Em are enjoying a perfect vacation of pristine beaches, exceptional staff, and soaking up the sun. But guided by the seductive and mysterious Gabby, they venture outside the resort grounds and find themselves in a culture filled with violence, hedonism, and untold horror. A lot of what George said I completely agree with. In terms of the screenplay, just wasn't a lot to write home about. The characters were... I just didn't care too much about the characters, and I will say, like, I was surprisingly bored for a decent amount of this movie, which is like weird because like you're going in expecting just to be in shock and awe at this wild, filthy movie. But genuinely, like, not even just the first act, like the first hour of this movie completely sold me. Like, I was so in, I was so excited. They set it up so well, and then like George was saying, they just kind of just stitched together a bunch of shock value scenes, montages that go on way too long. And just some very bizarre imagery, just for bizarre imagery's sake, it seems. And then so it's basically the first hour's incredible setup of like a true thriller. Then they just go and just mayhem for like 35, 40 minutes. And then they all like final 10 minutes try to quickly like, okay, we got to buckle this up and wrap everything together. And I just feel like it was not the best structure of a film out there. But like George said as well, Alexander Skarsgård and Mia Goth were absolutely incredible. And it's funny that the moderator was like, Skarsgård, do you have any questions for Brandon Cronenberg? Because this movie and his performance and just what this whole movie is, like, there's no way Alexander Skarsgård had a single question or anything in his mind. Like, he knew exactly the vision. He knew exactly what Cronenberg was going for, and Skarsgård took it to a whole new level. But yeah, it was... Mia Goth was deranged as well. I don't know. It was definitely unique, and I really actually enjoy the cinematography. Like in the first opening hour, there's a lot of cool shots. Like George said, there's a lot of sick montages that are, well, sick, but also very cool. Honestly, like I got just vibes of like the Babylon final flashback, because you got like colors and strobes and music and wildness. But it's like Babylon if Babylon was like actually like X-rated. Yeah, like the only other thing I can say is it's like clearly a movie that falls in like the eat the rich genre of just, rich people bad, which kind of feels like, I kind of mentioned this in my Letterboxd review. It's weird because Brandon Cronenberg is the son of a very rich and famous director, and then the star of this film is Alexander Skarsgård, the son of a very rich and famous actor. So like, if this movie's trying to be meta, like I said, like I'm gonna try to give it credit for, where it's like, Alexander Skarsgård in this movie is just thrust into this wild world he had no like say in being a part of, but once he got in, he was sucked in and couldn't get out. Is that like, maybe that's kind of Brandon Cronenberg getting sucked into the world of filmmaking like his dad did, and then Alexander Skarsgård being cast is kind of symbolic of like he was thrust into the world of acting. If it's meta like that, I give it kudos. But if they're trying to make an eat the rich movie where like the star and the director were born into the industry and kind of just had it handed to them, like not exactly, but I mean, come on, like we all know they started with an easier path than anyone else. That's kind of weird to me. Just be like, rich people suck, rich people are bad, don't be like the rich. And it's like, I don't know. That part just rubbed me the wrong way. But if it's meta, like I said, cool. But yeah, ultimately it was a fine movie. I was a little higher on it than George. I gave it a 6.6 out of 10 for 3.5 stars. So it was just like right on the border of being a 3.5 stars. It was almost a 3. I don't know. There's not much more to say here. I think people will really enjoy it. People will hate it. Just like George said, it's a Cronenberg, so that's what you can expect. I'm excited to see what Cam and Seth think. But yeah, that's all I have to say for today.
Yeah. it's not. I don't think it's coming out here till March. No, late March.
The funniest tweet Seth has ever had in his life is the tweet of the the release date for Infinity Pool, and him just reply in the UK like March. Oh, fuck off! That's all the tweet was.
Well, isn't the worst part of that tweet wasn't it saying the Infinity Pool release date as well as Pearl? Was that the one?
Yeah. That was a separate tweet, but Pearl is coming out like around.
Like that's like almost a year later.
Infinity Pool, fine. Like,
wait, Seth, you haven't seen Pearl yet?
No, I haven't. It's not out.
Dude,
well, this is the thing. Like, Infinity Pool, right? I get because it's like it's only a few months after. Like, fine. Right, I was expecting this, but Pearl. X wasn't this long. X was like 2 months, I think, after, and Pearl's like what? It's going to be like 7 months, something like that. That's crazy.
Yeah, at least, and that's just so wild. Like the only thing I can possibly like to try to justify it is maybe like it takes some long clearing process. It's a lot of like legal and back end work to get stuff released in other countries. And Pearl was like an afterthought where like they made X and then after filming it, making it, they're like, oh, let's make this too. So like they kind of made it out of nowhere. So maybe it took longer to go through the process. But yeah, that's just nonsense. It's been so long.
I told you, Seth. The average American has like a 45% chance higher of like dying on any given day. Like we could just get killed, but we get movies on time. So like you gotta weigh, you gotta weigh your pros and cons. You gotta weigh your pros and cons there.
That was funny. That was funny.
It's a toss up. It's a toss up, honestly.
Yeah. All right, Cam.
If we can quickly backtrack, I never went through what I was watching this week.
Oh, sure. We totally skipped over you.
No, it's okay.
Let's backtrack because you did watch Infinity Pool this week.
I need a couple more seconds.
Yeah, I did watch. The only thing I really want to mention is Come On. That's truly the only one I really want to like talk about. Not even talk about. Just my Letterboxd's review just said sometimes the truest form of beauty is simplicity. And it reminded me of Aftersun. It was a super simple but really powerful movie with an incredible lead performance. And I absolutely loved it. And that's the only one I want to talk about. I won't harp on this too much. But I also watched Old School last night, which is fucking hilarious.
Old School?
Yeah, Will Ferrell, Luke Wilson.
I'm not sure I've seen that one.
Hilarious. Wow, it's a dumb.
It's the Todd Phillips one.
Yeah. Dude, Todd Phillips, I was talking with my boys the other night because I went to my buddy's place in Jersey City to watch this movie. He's got the craziest filmography ever. Old School, Hangover Trilogy, War Dogs, Joker.
Did he do Captain Phillips, or am I thinking?
Did he?
I don't
know.
Think
wasn't that Robert Zemeckis who did Captain Phillips?
I have no idea, honestly.
Y'all can take this or leave it. This is a TikTok fan movie, but War Dogs kind of stinks. Anyone agree?
No, I like War Dogs.
I mean,
all right.
It's nothing incredible. I think.
Okay, so I think I have it at like a 60 or around.
War Dogs stinks.
So I think you just hate every Jonah Hill movie.
You have it above average, but
I have it 64. Yeah, but it's like I don't know. People on TikTok talk about it like it's incredible.
It's good.
I like a 4.5.
It's a good movie. It's nothing fantastic.
Do you know when you always gone up to George about him calling the worst film ever? And then you've just called it stinks, then it's like a 6 out of 10.
I said kind of stinks, all right? I didn't say it was horrible.
We can move on.
I'm just saying, I wanted to throw that out there. It's not as good as they say on TikTok.
No, yeah. George, I watched Come On a plane like, I don't know, a year ago at this point, and yeah, great movie. This take makes no sense, but for some reason I have a pet peeve of when modern films are black and white for no reason, like black and white just to be black and white. But for some reason, with Come On, like I said, this is my idea. I was like, it works. I don't know why.
Yeah.
Doesn't make sense. I see Tragedy of Macbeth and Belfast. I'm like, fuck you. Why is your film black and white? It's so stupid. And then I watch Come On. I'm like, this kind of works. And Come On is not completely black and white. I'd say it's like a little sepia tone or something. I feel like it has like a little brownish tint in there too or something. But
can I tell you something that might absolutely piss you off?
Sure.
You know how on HBO Max there's 2 versions of Zack Snyder's Justice League, color and black?
You watch it in black and white?
Whenever I watch the black and white version.
Why? Like, what's the reason?
All films should be black and white.
I don't think there's a reason. I just think
that's the worst take that's ever been said about movies. By the way,
it's a continue. Yeah, that's a poor take, Seth. But I don't know.
Surely you don't think that was a serious take. Come on.
But I just feel like the black and white for Zack Snyder's Justice League just fits the tone of like this very dark and like depressed Justice League. And I don't know. I think it's sick. I think it's dope. It's called Justice is Gray.
It should have won Best Picture, but that's you guys aren't ready to have that conversation.
Wait, so is it listed as something else under HBO Max?
Yeah, there's two. It's just Zack Snyder's Justice League, and then right next to it, it says Justice is Gray, and that's the black and white version.
I did not know about this, but
Well, go watch it tonight.
Okay. Cam, ping-ponging it back to you. You People in Shotgun Wedding. We talked about some other reviews already, but these clearly have to be the best films that have been released this week. Let's hear about them.
Yeah, sorry I've been muted. I've been trying to put all of my scores into my Excel file or my Google Sheet, I guess, if we want to get technical. So I've been doing that. But yeah, so You People and Shotgun Wedding, I watched them both last night. I gave them both a 2.5. You People was like a 54 out of 100, and then Shotgun Wedding was like a 46. So on both ends of the 2.5 out of 5. You People was a lot more like comedy than rom, and I don't know. I didn't find it like incredibly funny.
Is it as cringy as people are saying? Because some people like.
I don't know if it's like as cringy as people are saying. I just think I think it does everything. It does everything down the middle. It doesn't do anything good. It doesn't do anything.
It's the film of all.
I was gonna say, are you gonna say it does everything good or bad?
No, it does everything. That's congrats to it. No, I mean Jonah Hill's kind of funny in it. You know, Eddie Murphy has his moments, and outside of them, it's not amazing. I wish Julia Louis-Dreyfus was funnier, just because she's great. But you know, it's like I said, it does everything. I didn't really have a bad time with it by any means, but it's just so middle of the road in my opinion. And the end. So this is a movie. I'll ask. Do you guys care if I spoil it?
No, I will be watching them, but I do not care if you.
It is a rom-com, so you know what's going to happen for the general plot. You know, they have their love, they have their breakup, they have their love again, right? So they break up at their rehearsal dinner because their families suck, and it's very much about like their family dynamics and how it doesn't work, you know. And so it's a lot, in my opinion, it's like too much family, and you don't care about Jonah Hill. Or I who's the other actress? I don't know her name off the top of my head, so I'm going to Google it real quick to be respectful to her. Lauren London. You don't really care about their relationship a whole lot because you don't see it. It kind of like they start dating, it has a cut to 6 months, and then all of a sudden they're engaged. So you don't really see their relationship because the whole movie is supposed to be like about their families. So they break up, obviously, at their rehearsal dinner. 3 months later, Eddie Murphy and Julia Louis-Dreyfus, who are their mother and father, they connect again to make they're like, oh, I'm sorry, we fucked this relationship up. How can we make it up to you? And then they get back together, but apparently they didn't just like run into each other on accident. You know, that was the plan. They're gonna run into each other on accident. They're gonna rekindle the flame, but no. Julia Louis-Dreyfus and Eddie Murphy have set up a wedding that day, like right next to him. So like they go and get married then. And I'm like, if you got back together just now, you would not be getting back to the point you left off. Like you still got to figure some shit out. So that kind of pissed me off just because I was like, this is just stupid. You know, they're getting married right away. And yeah, so that was like a weird ending. But like I said, it's just an extremely middle of the road movie, in my opinion.
Cam,
and then
you know what I love about you, Cam? You'll watch these like average, below average shit movies, but you'll really get into them. Like you'll really you just seem like you genuinely enjoy talking about these movies.
They're funny, man. A 50 out of 100 isn't as funny to talk about, but I don't know. It's funny to talk. It's fun.
Cam, before you continue, so real quick, You People's a Netflix original, right? And then Shotgun Wedding is on Amazon Prime.
Yes, so
and they're
You
both
People
released within the last week or two, I think.
Yeah, so Shotgun Wedding says it was released on like December 28th, but it just came out on Prime Video. So I don't know if it probably had like a theater release. You People came out the 20th, or says it came out the 20th. I'm pretty confident it was this past Friday on Netflix. So again, it probably had a Netflix release, but You People, if you don't know, it's like obviously about a black and white family, how they're going to merge together and, you know, all their family dynamics get in the way, that kind of thing. It's like I said, it's got funny moments, but it's
Why
not
is it 2 hours long? Is it
exact? That's another thing. It was pretty long.
Every film, I'm telling you, it's all the time.
I'm not saying rom-coms can't be 2 hours, because I'm pretty sure The Big Sick is like 2:12 or something like that, if I'm guessing off the top of my head.
2 hours.
Yeah, but you kind of feel it here. And but then afterwards we watched Shotgun Wedding, which is it's like the stupidest movie I've ever seen in my life, but it was really funny. Like it made me laugh a good amount, so I'm putting it at a 2.5 out of 5, because like it was incredibly dumb, and the whole time I'm like, this is so stupid, but it was very funny. And then that got me down like a rabbit hole of like Jennifer Lopez movies, and I'm like, is she any good? She's not. I didn't know what her best movie was, and then I remember it's definitely Hustlers. Hustlers is a good movie. I think there's one.
She should have been nominated for that movie.
Yeah, she was good in. I really like Hustlers, but other than that, like everything else is not good. And this is going in my. I'm gonna make like a letterboxd of like Jennifer Lopez. I keep saying Lawrence. Jennifer Lopez like wedding movies or something, because last year we saw Marry Me, which it's like what are these movies you're doing? And then I think she's in something way back when with Matthew McConaughey, which is also, is it The Wedding Planner? That might be it. Another Jennifer Lopez wedding movie. I don't know. Yeah, it's just so stupid, but it made me laugh. It's like again, the synopsis is basically like they're having a wedding in Bali, I believe, and pirates come and try to take. Here's the problem. I'm gonna get into these things.
Wait, was that real? Was that real?
No, yeah, pirates like come and like not like Pirates of the Caribbean pirates, but like
I know.
like
Captain
modern
Phillips pirates.
Yeah,
Captain
exactly.
Phillips pirates.
Yeah, they come and it's like J-Lo, her dad's wealth. So I can tell you what the twist is. There's a twist if you care.
Please.
Okay. All right. So spoiler alert for Shotgun Wedding. The twist is her dad invites her ex-fiance, which first off, are you still here, George? Should I continue?
Yeah, I'm here. I just had to stand up to adjust this fucking curtain.
That's fine. So her dad invites her ex-fiance, who's played by Lenny Kravitz. And when he first shows up, he shows up on a helicopter onto this remote island wedding, which is hilarious because he like pulls into he lands on like a boat deck. So that's just funny. And then the pirates were hired by her ex-fiance in order to take her father's money of like $45 million or something. So that's the twist, that like he's the bad guy. But the problem with this movie, in my opinion, Josh Duhamel is neither Josh Duhamel or Jennifer Lopez are like action heroes. I thought like maybe Josh Duhamel was in the army.
Wasn't he in Transformers as like a commander?
Yeah.
Well, no, I'm saying like in the movie, neither of them are like, they're just following their way upwards this entire movie, and the pirates are idiots, and that's like the joke, and so that's why I say like it's stupid as hell, but it's funny. But Josh Duhamel works so much better when he's like competent and a good like action hero. I feel like that's the like you said, Transformers. Like he can still be funny, but give him a fight scene or two. He's pretty good in that. Doesn't get that in this. He's just like gun spraying the entire time, just like missing everything, and that's the joke. I don't know. At one point they said Jennifer Lopez was in the Peace Corps, but I thought they said she was in the Marine Corps. So the whole time I'm waiting for her to have some action scene. And I asked Emma about that, and she's like, no, they said Peace Corps. And I was like, oh shit. Okay. That makes more sense. But yeah, Emma loved Shotgun Wedding, man. She thought it was hilarious, which it was pretty funny. It's just so fucking stupid, man. So yeah.
What are the film? I saw you log Sing films.
Yeah, I didn't have those rated. I've seen those a million times.
I don't know what they are. That's good.
They're just animated DreamWorks, or no, they're Illumination.
But you didn't have it.
I threw a number at. I threw a number at them because I've seen them a million times with my niece, and I keep getting them on the Amazon Prime filter game that I'm doing, and I'm like, fuck it, I'm just gonna give it a score. So yeah, those I didn't actually watch. I just gave it a score. Good movie. I like them though. I like them. I do like the Sings, but that's Shotgun Wedding and You People. Both were fine in their own way. They were both middle of the road movies, in my humble opinion.
Well, moving on from there. Well, when you brought up You People, it reminded me because you said family, and it reminded me of what movie always talks about family? Fast and the Furious movies. So there's at Universal, there's a Fast and the Furious 4D ride, and so Universal they have long lines. So usually what they do is they make the waiting area and lines interactive. They have clips showing that are supposed to get you prepared for the ride ahead. And Fast and the Furious had a 4 or 5 minute clip you had to sit through of. Crap, I'm forgetting. Is it Snoop Dogg? Is he the man? No, not Snoop Dogg. Ludacris, right? Yeah. It's him FaceTiming you, basically saying and the girl from the series is him being welcome to our family now. Family protects family. You're one of us now. No, and he says the word family at least 27 times. You're sitting there for 5 minutes, dude, I'm just here for a ride. The ride ended up being so shit. The ride was so bad. The worst that there was by far. You're just on a bus driving through the streets of LA or wherever. There's explosions going on. You're just driving fast with all the Fast and the Furious people. But the amount of times they said family is just absolutely ridiculous. Because it's obviously a meme about the Fast and Furious movies, but just to see it just fully embrace the meme is kind of
cool. We'll talk about this later, but I hated in the Shazam trailer when he says it's all about family. That was my least favorite line of any.
They did that in the first trailer.
Yeah, they did in the first trailer too. I hate that. I hate it.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's get into some news now. So, biggest news probably in the movie world of the week was the Oscar nominations were announced. We're just going to briefly touch on them. For anyone who wasn't paying attention to Oscar nominees, because let's face it, we're probably, especially George and I, way more invested in this than the average movie fan. That's completely fine. But I'll just quickly talk about the 4 kind of big categories that most people are interested in terms of just the average movie watcher: Best Picture, Best Director, Best Actor, and Best Actress. And then we're going to kind of talk about some big storylines from the nomination reveals. So Best Picture nominees, if you didn't see this: All Quiet on the Western Front, Avatar: The Way of Water, The Banshees of Inisherin, Elvis, Everything Everywhere All at Once, The Fabelmans, Tar, Top Gun, Triangle of Sadness, and Women Talking. And we'll talk about more who we thought was snubbed and stuff in a bit. But just to quickly cap this part off, so Best Director nominees: Steven Spielberg for The Fabelmans, The Daniels for Everything Everywhere All at Once, Todd Fields for Tar, Martin McDonagh for The Banshees of Inisherin, and Ruben Östlund for Triangle of Sadness. And then we got our Best Actor nominees: Austin Butler in Elvis, Colin Farrell in Banshees, Brendan Fraser in The Whale, Paul Mescal in After Sun, which is just absolutely huge to see him get nominated, and then Bill Nighy in Living. And then lastly, the only other category we'll go through here before we kind of talk about some stuff is Best Actress nominees: Cate Blanchett for Tar, Ana de Armas for Blonde, Andrea Riseborough for To Leslie, Michelle Williams for The Fabelmans, and Michelle Yeoh for Everything Everywhere All at Once. So since we just talked about Best Actress, the first thing we'll kind of go into, which I know we care about a lot of snubs, but the biggest news in Oscars world this week is Andrea Riseborough and her nomination for Best Actress for To Leslie. And Seth and I talked about it on last week's pod a bit, how we're dude, have you been seeing just every single famous actress and actor seems to be coming out and tweeting just To Leslie, Andrea Riseborough is the best actress performance I've ever seen in my entire life. And it's all of a sudden just out of the woodwork, so many important people, I guess if you can put it that way, are just tweeting their admiration for this movie. And it just seemed very weird and out of nowhere, and all of a sudden, because it's not like the movie came out 2 weeks ago. The movie came out months ago. So the fact that it all came at one point, a little suspicious. The Academy agreed with that being suspicious. So on Tuesday, so tomorrow for those of you listening right now, they are going to be doing a thorough review of what all went into this, how it happened, because everyone was kind of up in arms and more so just confused, because everyone always gets upset about snubs, but this one was genuinely a confusing case.
Can I?
Yeah. You know what I don't get? Go, Seth.
I was just going to say that it's obviously this has been picking up a lot of traction because of the campaign and whatever. I've just checked To Leslie on Letterboxd, right? And I haven't seen it, so it might be that good a performance. Even now, after we've had weeks of the campaign, it's got 7K logs. That's nothing since it's been out for that long. That's absolutely nothing. And it just baffles me how this has just come out of absolutely nowhere.
But listen, I'm not a part of the Oscar board. Obviously, I have no idea what goes into how they look at these campaigns and decide what they're going to nominate. We as audience members, we got to trust that the Oscars is going to pick who they think are the best 5 actors and actresses of the year. why is there an investigation here? Like, does this just show that we obviously know the Oscars is as political as it gets, but like, you picked her. You picked her.
It is weird, isn't it?
We, as audience members, should trust that you picked her not because of this random campaign that happened, but because you truly believe she is one of the 5 best acting performances of the year.
And also, we've had this before. I mean, I'm not massive into Oscars, so I might be wrong, but like, we've had it before where like there's been these campaigns last minute where they've just out of nowhere, like, why have you not investigated into them? Now you're just showing that you really maybe don't trust your process in the way that people are nominated by investigating into this, when we've had so many of these incidents before. And I don't know. I just, like I said, I just think the Oscars are so politically motivated. It's about who you know. It's about
here's the thing. So if Cate Blanchett never campaigned for Best Actress, would she have gotten a nomination? Is that how this works? Like, are we relying on campaigns to solidify nominations?
Which is stupid.
Or can we rely on the Academy actually nominating who we think or who they think are the 5 best performances of the year?
Yeah, I agree.
I don't understand any of it.
Yeah, I think that one of the big things for this case is that there were some texts that were leaked, because basically there's a ton of people in the Academy, and there was like a text that was like, I ran the numbers, and if like this many people have put Andrea Riseborough as number 1 on their ballot, then she will be officially nominated for an award. So it seemed like there was like someone just trying to influence, and like Seth said, it's all about who you know. So I don't know. There's been so much shady shit that's always gone down the Oscars. The fact they're investigating this is weird. Nothing's going to come of it. Like, Andrea Riseborough's nomination is not going to be taken away, and no one else is going to replace her. But there might be like someone that's like someone none of us know by name takes like a fall.
Honestly,
like,
don't be surprised if she wins. I've just got like a small feeling she'll just win. Like, seriously.
Pick one person. Who would you replace her with? Go now.
Tang Wei, 1,000,000%.
Danielle Deadwyler.
Micah Monroe.
Isn't that supporting actress?
Over Tang Wei? I mean, I haven't seen the watch yet, but I thought you really liked Tang Wei.
I would go Micah
Monroe. I also would put Tang Wei in supporting actress.
No, because she's the lead actress.
Yeah.
No, she's the only, but she is the main actress.
I know, but she is a supporting character, I think.
I thought that, but then I was
she is the lead female in the movie, but she is a supporting character.
That's what I said. Everyone was like annoyed at me over TikTok. Apparently, it's the other way around. I don't really know how this works.
Either way, she was great.
Micah Monroe is the correct answer, right, George?
Yeah, Micah Monroe, and then I would even put Mia Goth. I also haven't seen Till, so I can't comment on Danielle Deadwyler. I wouldn't have minded if Viola Davis got in, even over Ana de Armas.
Ana de Armas, second best performance of the year. Cate Blanchett shouldn't have even been nominated.
That's wild.
I'm kidding about that. But that was a joke. That was a meme. That was a meme. I swear. That was a meme. But I do have her third.
Is there anyone else, or is it just them? I'm just trying to think. Maybe
not off the top of my head.
Maybe Margot Robbie. Maybe
she was good.
I wouldn't. I
mean, she wouldn't be my first pick, but I think she'd be.
I mean, she did a great job, but I don't know if she did.
Yeah.
It was just a fun little. We don't have to dive into it. I was just chit chatting for a second.
I mean, talking about Tang Wei can segue us into our next bullet point.
Yeah, perfect. Way to go, George.
I'm waiting for one bullet point.
We know. Decision to leave, snubbed from everything, which, like, I get it. Snubs happened this year.
But
getting snubbed from Best Picture and Best Director. Best Picture getting snubbed, I'd be like, I would have put it in there, but not surprised. Best Director, I'd be like, that one hurts a little more. But Best Foreign Film is just bonkers.
Best Cinematography.
I think the cinematography is the worst.
Agreed, but Best Foreign Film's got to be the most bonkers. Like, it didn't even get that. Like, that just means simply that they just didn't watch it.
It's the Academy's Western bias coming out once again. We had this thing with Parasite where it did really well, and it's a Korean film. We thought maybe it would change, but now it's probably gone back to normal, and it will just continue to get ignored.
Yeah.
Park Chan-wook it surprised me with the director as well, because it's not like his first film. He's done so many great films.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, why are we just completely ignoring it? And I look at the thing, okay, Best Picture, I would have had it in there, but I can kind of see, why they wouldn't. And then I look at it and I'm like, I look down the categories list. I honestly think maybe 5, 6 it could have been nominated for. And that's not me saying win, but the most egregious to me is cinematography. Like, I thought that was a lock to be a nomination.
I watched so many, like last night after I watched the movie I spent some time just going through YouTube watching like these people who genuinely like analyzed like the Oscar experts, the guys I was talking to you about the other day. And everyone seems to be in agreement that like Decision to Leave not only is it an amazing movie that should have nodded a couple of Oscar nominations, but it's a movie that people are going to be studying because of its technical filmmaking ability. It should have been nominated in editing, should have been nominated in sound design, score, cinematography. It should have gotten, in my humble opinion, a picture nomination and a directing nomination, a lead actor nomination. I would have put him in over Bill Nighy, but I just haven't seen that movie, so take that with a grain of salt.
That's hilarious.
Fuck Bill Nighy.
I mean, I just haven't seen the movie, respectfully, so whatever.
I know, just the way you said it's funny. Just be like, screw this performance. I mean, I haven't seen it, but screw this performance.
No, listen, Bill Nighy, if you're listening, I'm sure you're fantastic in the movie. But yeah, the decision to leave, once it was snubbed for international feature film, I was like, this is going to be snubbed across the board. This isn't getting shit.
Right, yeah.
And it blew my mind. I was sitting in my office, had my headphones in while this was going on. And I was like, I literally like audibly said, "Shut the fuck up." When they said EO and skipped over, because they do it in alphabetical order. When they said EO and skipped over decision to leave, I said, "Shut the fuck up."
That's so wild, and disappointing.
Yeah, it's so disappointing.
And the next
one.
But
do you think? Yeah. Hold on, sorry, one more thing. Parasite going into the Oscars had so much push because so many people were watching it. Do you think the Oscars takes that into account? Because not a lot of people have seen Decision to Leave.
I've seen people on Twitter saying like huge fans of Mubi, love the software or love the service, but they feel like it being produced by Mubi put it at a distinct disadvantage this year because it was just so inaccessible.
That's stupid.
It's stupid.
Yeah,
It's
on Mubi.
It's a 3-month free trial, people. 3 months. I still have it.
It's also like
going to it anyway. Like
Seth said, this isn't just some dude making a film. This is Park Chan-wook. This is one of the greatest filmmakers of the 21st century making a movie.
Oh yes.
Like, I don't know.
Shit hurts, man. Shit hurts.
I'm more pissed off about this than like the Batman not getting into score.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And that's a big one for George as well.
And that's a big one.
That's a big one for George.
Yeah, like the Batman.
That's a big one for anyone, to be fair.
The Batman still copped 3 nominations. Decision to Leave got shut out of everything.
Yeah, if it had got a couple, I'd have been like, okay, it's annoying but fair. Literally every category.
Like After Sun got shut out, but at least we can still say After Sun is an Academy Award nominated film because it got 1 nominated. We can't even say about that Decision to Leave.
Yeah, crazy.
Stupid.
Exactly. And next up, so my wording was bad. I deleted the tweet. I said All Quiet on the Western Front was a loser, but the reason was because we all knew, all the nominations it got, if you didn't think it was getting any of those, you're an absolute moron.
I didn't think Best Picture.
It got 9 though.
It got 9 nominations.
No, but like Cam, George and I have followed this so closely, so I guess at that point going into nominations, I was not surprised by a single one of the nominations.
Did you think it was going to get a Best Picture one? I didn't.
After the BAFTAs, yeah, for sure.
After the BAFTAs,
I didn't watch. So I don't. Yeah.
The thing is, and Felix Camera was a complete long shot for Best Actor, so that's not a loss. But Best Director seemed like that one so Decision to Leave, we thought Park Chan-wook should because we all loved the movie so much. Whereas All Quiet on the Western Front ticked all the precursors, all the boxes, everything like you're supposed to have done in order to get in based on all the previous precursors. Like it did, and then it just didn't get that, but yeah, got everything else. So that's why I was like, that is disappointing. Like I feel like
we got doomed once again.
Yeah, we got doomed.
Dune picked up 10 nominations in like every single tech category, including Best Picture, but somehow Denis didn't get a Best Director.
Denis gets no respect, I swear.
Like, how the fuck does that make sense? It doesn't make sense.
But it's still not a loser.
I would say that the director maybe was a loser, but the movie as a whole.
Yeah, it was still the second most nominated film of the
night. For a film not in English to get a Best Picture nomination just doesn't happen very often. So that's a huge thing, isn't it?
It's also funny. So, All Quiet on the Western Front was the only international feature film nominated for Best Picture, which basically it's the obvious pick for the international feature category, right? Mm-hmm. I can fully see the Oscars picking like Argentina 1985.
Yeah. I thought it'd be Argentina, but then surely now, the only obvious choice is getting if you're nominated for Best Picture,
you have to be the obvious pick. Yeah, it's so interesting.
I don't hate that though. Like if you're winning, if it does win Best Picture, give someone else Best Foreign Film because I feel like the whole point of Best Foreign Film is to give representation to movies that aren't getting representation elsewhere. So if you're gonna give it Best Picture, give something else an Oscar for Best Foreign Film.
Here we go. So I posted my who I think will win versus who I think should win TikTok, and I've changed my mind on one thing. This is what I've changed my mind on. I think Everything Everywhere All at Once is going to pick up original screenplay and picture. Because of that, I don't think they're going to give director to the Daniels just because of how many awards Everything Everywhere All at Once is going to get. I think they're going to give Best Director to Martin McDonagh. I truly believe that.
I think I might agree with you with the rights. Then again, Spielberg, I don't know. He's just that guy.
I think it's gonna be Spielberg still.
Yeah, it should be the Daniels, respectfully. It should be the Daniels. But I think because, in my mind, they're going to give Everything Everywhere screenplay, picture. Ke Huy Quan's going to win. They're going to win a couple of tech categories.
Stephanie Sue.
She's not going to win. I don't think she'll win. I really don't think she'll win.
I don't know. I
think Angela Bassett's going to win. We'll see.
I think Angela Bassett's going to win. Really, she'll win.
Let's jump to that then. Angela Bassett's the first MCU. What? I'm going to go back up to it, but we're trying to keep a flowing podcast.
It's following the conversation.
All right. I'm waiting for one.
Take a breath, buddy. Angela Bassett is the first MCU actor-actress with an acting nomination for her performance. Cool. Good for you.
Awesome.
Well-deserved.
MCU.
All of us immediately after seeing that movie were like, holy shit, Angela Bassett. Insane.
Yeah, I think that's well-deserved. I also, maybe it's a hot take, I think it's a little shocking that she's the first MCU actress nominated for an acting nominee. I know after Endgame came out, there were a lot of people campaigning for Robert Downey Jr. That wasn't going to happen in 2019 just because of how stacked that fucking year was. So I'm really happy that we finally have an actress. What do we have, 30 movies, and we just nodded one nomination?
I'm trying to think of a good. I mean, none of them are bad performances. I'm just trying to think of a.
Yeah, I would.
Angela Bassett's deserved, but I'm the biggest MCU defender, so I'm trying to.
I would not have been mad if Tom Hiddleston got a supporting actor nomination for the first Avengers movie.
Yeah, he's good in that.
I wouldn't have been upset if. I don't even know. Maybe Chadwick Boseman got a nomination for the first Black Panther movie. There's a lot of instances where I could see why it wasn't nominated, but I would not have been upset if a couple of performances here and there were in fact nominated.
Yeah.
Go Angela Bassett. Go MCU.
Angela Bassett. Big ups. W.
All right, and then moving on. So Triangle of Sadness. So kind of similar story here with All Quiet on the Western Front, where it got nominations. Honestly, more than I was expecting it to. It just kind of picked up steam at the last minute, but then Dolly De Leon did not get a supporting actress nominee, which I don't know if Seth's in agreement with me. She's my number one supporting actress of the year.
No, I would have, if it's supporting, I would have Kerry Condon. She'd be I think she'd be second. Yeah, she was so good.
After watching that, I was not disappointed with her performance, but I was like, that was good. That's kind of how I felt about it. Yeah,
that was one of those snubs where, like Tyler said, me and Tyler really follow award season and who gets nominated, because every award season has an effect on what happens at the Oscars. So Dolly De Leon's been nominated everywhere for supporting actress, and then while they were running through the list of nominations, Triangle of Sadness picked up a lot of awards. So you would think, okay, Dolly De Leon is just going to be a shoe-in for best supporting actress. Triangle of Sadness is performing fantastic today, and then they don't read her name, and I think they move Hong Chow in, because I think those were the two fighting for that last spot. Maybe even Stephanie Sue in there. So it was very interesting picking two actresses from Everything Everywhere All at Once over.
Can we just talk Jamie Lee Curtis?
That's so sad. I think she did fine. She was
good. But, you want to know what's funny?
She did good. She did well. But
yesterday I went through every single Letterboxd review I had and just updated the numbers at the bottom, the overall rating, because I updated my master spreadsheet. My original Everything Everywhere All at Once review said that Michelle Yeoh, Ke Huy Quan were incredible, Jamie Lee Curtis was great, and I didn't think Stephanie Sue was as good as everyone's building her up to be. So that was my original takeaway.
Terrible.
And I still kind of stand by that. I really didn't like her in that movie, I don't think, as much as
I
think Seth agrees with me. I think Seth agrees with me.
I think she'd be my third. I think she was great. Jamie Lee Curtis getting a nomination is
Jamie Lee to me is
I would definitely take Stephanie Sue over Jamie Lee.
She was good. She did well.
She did the job she had to do, but she was nothing more than that. She didn't
Stephanie Sue definitely deserved it over Jamie Lee Curtis, in retrospect, for sure. I don't know what
I will say. Stephanie Sue is my number one supporting actress. I think this race comes down to Angela Bassett and Kerry Condon.
I agree, and I think it will be Angela Bassett.
I think it'll be Angela Bassett as well.
I'm about to email every Oscar Academy member and just tell them Stephanie Hsu should win. And
who won? Carrie Condon won the ReelTok supporting actress, right?
Yeah. Bastards.
Go ReelTok.
Bastards. That's all right. At least we nominated the correct people.
Fair.
All right, next up, The Whale snub from Best Adapted Screenplay and Picture, and I'd say it's a textbook definition snub in terms of the precursors, but in terms of like the actual movie and the reaction, like I'm not like surprised it didn't.
This is all I wanted, is that this is the only one that you all caps snubbed. I don't think this was a snub. This movie was fine.
Yeah,
no, this movie was good. It was not.
Honestly,
I've seen. Yeah.
Well, George, have you even seen it?
I've watched it.
No,
because you were the one who wrote. He was the one who wrote it in.
I wrote it.
Oh, okay.
I fully went with just the precursors. The Whale had everything it needed to cop a adapted screenplay novel, like everything. It was nominated everywhere for this award. It was nominated in Best Picture at a couple award shows, and obviously Brendan Fraser is picking up Critics' Choice at the Oscars. It had everything. Like every single precursor led me to believe that The Whale is getting a adapted screenplay nomination.
So it got adapted screenplay nomination too, because when I've obviously I haven't seen it yet. I think it's out like this week. Coming here, but I've seen like a lot of people say it was a bad adaptation, so I'm surprised they got that many nominations.
Is it from a book or
one thing that's interesting, Seth, is what I've seen a lot of people say is that the movie was like a solid adaptation, but they just say that the source material, like the play, is just like not a good play. So I think like it's like the original, like what it wasn't great, but yeah, it's like, and yeah, George was the one who wrote that in. We were kind of like flirting on Google Docs last night, ping pong, and like he was doing a bullet and I was doing a bullet, and it was him, and it was kind of like, who's gonna go next? Like, should I go right now? Because he might be typing. So, yeah,
I thought you wrote it in, Tyler, because you just tweeted that it's an overhated movie.
Both can be true. It's overhated, but I don't think it. Like I wasn't. I don't think it should be.
You were just going after Tyler. And
I just thought.
No, because the thing is, so like a lot of discourse on like film Twitter and stuff is Blonde and Ana de Armas's nomination and how Blonde's like a despicable movie to be Oscar Award nominated. And people are kind of keeping that same vitriol for The Whale, and I'm just like, I feel like The Whale hate because they're all like, oh, like no way should like this award get Best Picture, like something like The Whale instead of Women Talking, which I agree, Women Talking is a better film, it should deserve to be there. But I feel like people started like talking about The Whale like it was Blonde, and it's like it's a divisive movie, but it's not like, Blonde.
I'm looking forward to it. Yeah, I'm really looking forward to it.
All right, and then Tar surprisingly gets a cinematography nomination. Kind of an interesting.
Surprisingly,
I say again. Really? I wrote that in. Did I write that in? I think I wrote that.
It's great cinematography, but it's not. I don't think it's representative of the year.
Over Decision to Leave though is bad.
Yeah,
but I wouldn't have Elvis in there in Best Cinematography. I'd have Decision to Leave over Elvis, and I'd keep Tar in.
No, see, I would have Decision to Leave over Elvis, and then I would have Top Gun Maverick over Tar.
Yeah, I forgot about
really?
Cinematography, yes.
Would you
that
have,
film was shot so well.
Elvis over Tar for cinematography?
No.
Yeah, okay, fair enough.
Elvis 8 nominations. Like that's
Elvis a little much.
Elvis is a biopic.
That's a Best Picture nom. That's the.
It's a biopic.
I mean, that's not as bad as what is it? Fucking Freddie Mercury movie.
Yeah, but Rhapsody.
Can't think of their most famous song, but
trash.
Yeah, that it's not as egregious as that, but they love.
It's just weird because I feel like the reception for Elvis. I feel like the reception for Elvis when it came out like wasn't even like amazing. Like it was like people were like, "This is good," but didn't love it. Like not just fans, but like critics. So I was like kind of surprised in awards season. I was sweeping up when like
most people are like it's like a
decent
4 out of 5 movie. It's good.
Yeah.
But
not even a 5, like 4. I think it's what is it on?
I mean, it's on Letterboxd. It's a 3.5, but I feel like most like reviews I've seen recently are like, it's a 4 out of 5.
But a biopic will add like a star at least.
Yeah. And I'll still say it. I've seen Elvis fully through 3 times now, and I don't think it loses value. Like I think it's a decent movie, but 8 nominations.
4. I think we're all saying we're saying.
I've been a 3.5.
Oh, even that.
Interestingly, George. Why do you reach to rewatch that? Because when I rate something at 3.5, I'm like, if I don't rewatch that ever, I'm fine with it. Do you know what I mean? So I thought you'd have to like to watch it 3 times, like really enjoy it.
I mean, I do really enjoy it. I try to be as like subjective and objective about film as possible. I've leaned towards subjective a lot lately.
And if anything, I think subjectivity holds it up to a 3.5 because I do think it's not that great of a film. Like I think it's a good film that surprisingly doesn't lose its value on rewatch, but
is it not too long for you?
It's definitely long for me. It's for sure long for me.
That was like my main issue with so many scenes. It was just like it was a bit of a drag.
Yeah, but I mean, there are a lot of 3.5s that I still love and adore.
Yeah, I don't know if George on your rewatches you're like heavily invested in them, but I can see Elvis is totally like if I'm like cleaning up around the house, like doing laundry, like having a movie like Elvis on is like solid because you got like music, solid performance. It's kind of fun to pop in and out of. So I think it's like a good background movie.
I think most
biopics,
I agree with that because same with Bohemian Rhapsody in the music sense.
Yeah,
like,
I was gonna say music biopics, but I'm not gonna put on like King Richard.
But then just put the music on. Bohemian Rhapsody was like. My opinion, I didn't think that was a good film at all.
I think I have that.
It's not a good film.
No, well, it's got good ratings on Letterboxd, 3.5 or something.
I don't even know where I have it.
Bohemian Rhapsody has one more Best Picture nomination than After Sun.
Yeah, that's wild.
All right,
ridiculous.
Moving on, Cam. I mentioned.
Fun fact.
Yes.
Sorry. Fun fact: I have Bohemian Rhapsody and Elvis the same exact rating, actually. Like
that's just
like number wise or just stars?
Yeah.
I have a 2.5.
73 out of 100.
Interesting.
But like I don't look at like Bohemian Rhapsody when I'm throwing a number at Elvis. Yeah. But maybe I need to rewatch Bohemian Rhapsody. I probably haven't seen it in 2 years, maybe 3, honestly, whenever it came out. So
yeah, because that's funny because I was going through my spreadsheet of all my rankings yesterday, and like so many biopics landed a 7.7 out of 10 for me. I've adjusted some, but like I think Elvis, Theory of Everything. There's a couple others, just like all landing just right at 7.7 out of 10. It's just like my classic biopic score.
What do you have straight out of Compton at? Just wanted to know.
Don't have it rated.
That's a 4.
I haven't seen that in a long while, but that's a damn good movie.
That's like a full.
That's a really good movie.
Yeah, I like that film.
That's what started like the whole Oscars Too White campaign because that was shut out of like every single award, and it shouldn't have been.
Mm-hmm.
That's better than the majority.
And look how far we've come. We have a year where where they were kind of shut out again.
This year's actress nominations were whack. This one is worth questioning a little. This like
they're all worth questioning.
Yeah, that's fair. I just mean like this year specifically is like. All right, y'all.
It's a bit like, come on, you're saying something.
Yeah.
Moving on, talk about The Fabelmans quick. And Cam, I'm interested in your thoughts on this because you're the only one who's seen it. I just rewatched it on the plane the other day. Just had a hankering to rewatch it. Awesome. Then George or Seth, keep this in the back of your mind when you go watch it so Judd Hirsch was nominated for Best Supporting Actor. He was in the movie for 8 minutes, I think. Very his performance is incredible, and he gives an incredible monologue that I can see like why once someone watched that they're like that was incredible. But and I get it, we've seen it time and time again where someone's been nominated for supporting actor or actors with such low screen time. But the fact that this was the same movie as where Paul Dano was right there, and I thought his performance was so good, especially on rewatch. So it's like not even like, okay, you're shutting out another nominee, but it's like from the same movie, like you watched that movie and you said Judd Hirsch is the better supporting actor than Paul Dano. I don't know, Cam. What do you think about that?
Yeah, I don't know. Like you said, we've seen it time and time again. Like someone will be in a movie for one scene, 3 minutes, but it's a 3-minute monologue, and that's enough to get them a supporting nomination, which is fine. I just sometimes it pisses me off because, like you said, like Paul Dano gave, we'll say for the sake of an argument, a just as good performance for the entire movie.
Hasn't he never had a nomination?
Never had a nom. I didn't know that until that's like the big thing on Twitter. I feel like, once one person tweets something, I'll see it 18 different times from like 30 different accounts, and they're like, Paul Dano's never been nominated. So yeah, I've seen that.
It's true though.
No, sure. I've seen that tweet like 20 times in the past 3 days, which I didn't know. So it's interesting to learn, but I'm gonna tweet that from the ReelTok account.
How long didn't Mahershala Ali win one for Moonlight? How long was he in that for? Was he in that for quite long?
A good chunk.
First third.
It's definitely more than 8 minutes.
Yeah, no, it's that. I feel like 15, 20 minutes.
I think the record is Alan Arkin. I think for Little Miss Sunshine, he won supporting actor.
No, he was in more than.
He was in that movie for like what, 12 minutes?
No, he was in it for the first like hour.
Was he?
Well,
really?
but he's
Yeah,
not in every scene though. So the scenes
he's in most of the scenes. To be fair,
Arkin, screen time, little. All right, give me a sec.
14 minutes.
14 minutes. Yeah.
oh, okay. So really, he was in it 14 minutes.
That being said, Judd Hirsch
Ah.
did well, but Paul Dano much better. Same with the kid. Much better.
Gabriel Bell. Yeah, he's
obviously
awesome.
he's actor, but not supporting actor. But still, it's weird how
because and also when people do like how many minutes is someone in a film, it's always like compiling a bunch of clips, but like that's just even more egregious in this one because it's like he shows up to the house, walks in, goes to the kid's room, talks his 6 minutes, and then leaves, and you never see him again. So it's like not just like he's in the movie in bits and pieces. Like it's a 2-hour, 20-minute movie, and he just walks in, does his thing, walks out, and you just never see or hear from him again. So it's just kind of a funny nomination, honestly. But speaking of nominations, John Williams is no stranger to nominations. He just beat his own record, snagged his 53rd Oscar nomination. Cam's the biggest John Williams fan on the pod, I'd imagine. You happy about the man's?
Yeah, great for him. I'm so sorry. I'm trying to find like 3 good acting performances from Paul Dano, and then I want to find like a really weird performance and put that in my tweet. I'm sorry. That's what I'm focused on right now. Go John Williams, you're king.
And then we already mentioned it, but After Sun snubbed across the board, and we'll mention it again just because it took home a lot of ReelTok awards. But Paul Mescal, awesome to see it. Honestly, that's probably the most shocking. Not in terms of like he didn't meet some criteria to hit it, but I was just actually shocked that the Oscars actually nominated him. I was so happy about that. And
like, let's just keep it going though. Like, let's pick him to win. Like, fuck it.
He should win.
He should win. Like, let's just keep it going. The After Sun snubs in like screenplay and picture are especially. They're not like crazy snubs in my mind, but the fact that they just came off of BAFTA nominations. That's where I was like, damn, like I could have seen it getting in, and I was really hoping they would have said After Sun for original screenplay. But yeah, it's not like a crazy snub, obviously. I just don't think it had a lot of momentum coming into Oscar season. But after the BAFTAs, I really wanted to see this picture.
This is what I don't get about Best Director, because it's like, Park Chan-wook, for example, he's such a like known filmmaker now. He's done so many bangers, didn't get nominated. Okay, fine. Charlotte Wells' directorial debut, one of the best directorial debuts we've had this century so far, didn't get nominated. What goes into this? Like, what are we counting towards Best Director? It's so inconsistent. I don't understand it at all. Like, a directorial debut like that, for me,
should be recognized.
I don't get it. It's a phenomenal achievement film.
Yeah.
Sums that up pretty well. But that covers it for a quick nomination talk. We will be having probably in a month or so, because the Oscars are March 14th, I believe. It's somewhere in the middle of March. That's second Sunday. And we will do a full pod like a week or two before, giving our whole predictions, going through what we all think is going to happen. And we'll kind of try to make something fun out of it. Maybe it can be one of our games, like where we all give our like, we'll talk about obviously who we want to win, but we'll also submit like our official, like here's who we think are going to win each award. See who gets the most points. That's kind of fun. So we'll do that. And then also once the Oscars hit, of course, we'll be doing a full recap, because as we've seen at the Oscars every year, there's going to be some surprising award winners, and there's going to be probably some surprising headline that I don't know if we'll get the slap again, but we'll probably get something that people are going to talk about for a while. So
I hope they do like just some funny shit, like have someone like fake slap someone and just like start yelling, "Keep my wife's name at your fucking mouth," just like as a joke.
I feel like someone's gonna have to mention.
I'm gonna slap George at the second annual ReelTok Awards.
I'll take it. If that gets us views, I'll take it. Is Jimmy Kimmel hosting this year?
Yes.
Yeah, I think
he is. Okay.
I don't mind that, but I think it'll be fine.
Yeah.
But going from the best award show out there for movies to the most despicable, the Razzies got a lot of heat this week because they nominated Ryan Kiera Armstrong's performance for Firestarter as Worst Actress of the Year. She was 11 years old at the time. She's 12 years old now.
That's fucking wild.
Yeah, so
should have nominated the kid from Black Adam.
What are these award shows?
I mean, Razzies is pretty popular.
You've never seen the Razzies.
You know, the Razzies.
They nominate the worst of the year.
That's horrible. Nominating child.
It's fucked that they nominated a child, but I respect because they knew they
took away the nomination.
They took away the nomination, but I respect that they were like, fuck it, like we're just gonna do it. Like we're not the Oscars, we're not worried about campaigns right here. We are going with whatever we feel is the worst, and they did it. They got shit for it, as they should have. It was hilarious. Tom Hanks got 2 Razzie nominations. That's all I just want to say.
The Razzies.
Jared Leto was nominated for Morbius.
Why do I not know? This is hilarious.
I
Razzies.
stand by the kid from Black Adam was
Yeah.
worse.
Kid from Black Adam should have got a nomination.
He's also older, so we can be mean to him.
That's so funny.
Facts.
It's like age of consent, age of being allowed to be bullied on the internet.
The Razzies
funny.
are not
Wow.
strangers to controversy. They've been around for a long time because one of the most notable controversy is that they nominated Shelley Duvall for The Shining as the worst acting performance of the year, but then obviously she went through a lot of trauma through that, so then they ended up
And I just
revoking.
say Shelley Duvall was good in The Shining. Very good. Just for
respect your opinion.
I would say.
So if you guys care, here are the this year's Razzie nominations.
I'm looking at
For worst actor, Pete Davidson in Marmaduke, Tom Hanks in Pinocchio, Machine Gun Kelly in Good Morning, Jared Leto in Morbius, and Sylvester Stallone in The Samaritan.
That's so funny.
Stallone should not be on that list. I'll say it.
See, those 5 films are fine because I've actually heard of them and I've seen a couple of them. But the only thing I dislike about there's a lot of things I dislike about the Razzies.
Yeah.
But one of the main things is that there's so many films and like performances that are nominated and movies that just no one's seen because they're just so trash that I just think if they're fully going to buy into being controversial, they should just be nominating stuff from like the mainstream movies because that would get so much more traction and be a lot more funny in my opinion. Like Tom Hanks and Elvis is worst actor.
Kid, you guys want to hear the funniest thing in the world?
Like,
so.
the actors go and accept these awards.
No.
People have showed up. People have
That's
shown up.
so funny. I need to keep up with this. That's the best
In
thing.
1985, Sylvester Stallone won the Razzie for Worst Actor for 2 performances. It literally says 2. Rambo, First Blood Part 2, and Rocky 4.
Wait,
That's great.
Sandra Bullock accepted one. I've just seen it now. That's so
awesome,
funny.
man. That's so
Oh
great.
my god.
I would
That's
100% show up.
I would.
Bro, I would show up.
Yeah,
in a
I think
heartbeat.
it all depends on
I
the
would show
performance
up
because I think a lot of
blacked out.
I think for some roles like actors are going to take it super personally, but stuff for like Tom Hanks and Elvis, I think if he got a Razzie for that, like he wouldn't care. He'd be like, like I was written to be this way, and like he's been open about saying like he's like frankly a lot of the movies have been suck, so he's like seems cool with the joke. I think Tom Hanks would be one who'd accept it fine.
Bro, I'm so deep in Razzie noms right now. Sylvester Stallone has the most nominations ever.
Yeah.
How many do you think he has?
25.
16.
Nice guess, Tyler.
Cam, your tweets.
Sorry. Keep going.
We're sidetracked next.
Okay.
Jesus Christ.
Next piece of news: Willem Dafoe is in talks to star in Robert Eggers' Nosferatu alongside Lily Rose Depp, Bill Skarsgård, Nicholas Hoult. I think, like, I almost think at this point it's like all but confirmed. At this point, like, I think I've seen a lot of traction on this. So, Willem Dafoe, one of the greatest actors, simply of all time. Like, always delivers.
Ever. It's one of those things where it's like you just see a bunch of newsreels and maybe it's true, maybe it's not true, but it's like Cam said, like he sees one tweet and then he'll see like 20 different pages just tweet the exact same thing. So, I mean, Willem Dafoe is no stranger to a Robert Eggers movie, so it's more than likely true and going to happen, and I hope it does.
Yeah, in a movie like Nosferatu, like just think of Willem Dafoe's like recent films like Inside coming out, Lighthouse, like I said, even Green Goblin, like he can play twisted characters brilliantly.
Yeah.
Even Grand Budapest Hotel.
I didn't think that was that funny, Seth.
Oh my
The Razzies are hilarious, but no,
Look
you're
at my
absolutely
eyes.
right.
It's just been crying. Jesus Christ.
To play Nosferatu in a Robert Eggers movie, you need someone that could be demented with like, just a crazy amount of range, and I feel like Willem Dafoe just perfectly parks his ass into that spot.
Yeah, that's a great casting. Sorry, it's amazing casting. I love that. Really good.
Maybe it'll win a Razzie.
Maybe.
I fucking hate that.
And then The Last of Us has already been greenlit for a season 2. I think it's pretty expected based on that.
You guys are in for some fucking television if they stick to what they're doing. The exact adaptation.
Tonight's episode?
No,
I think he's talking about
season. If they do season 2 the same way they did the second game, bro, there's
is
crazy
this bad
shit.
of me? I kind of want to watch the screenplay, like the cutaway scenes online. I don't know why. I feel left
the
out.
game.
The game cutscene. I
Just
feel like
spoil it,
people
or-
know
I
what's
really
going
wouldn't.
on,
There's
and I just like I know. I just want to
There's
know.
some
I just want to be
huge
in the
shit
know.
in the second one that you don't want to know.
I love that.
Someone already spoiled probably one of the bigger things for me on like my TikTok, which is fine.
Don't look at your comments.
I'm not a person that'll get upset about that, so it's fine. And I kind of expected it, but yeah, someone already spoiled probably what could have been the biggest thing in like my first.
I'm assuming that I know what that is.
Yeah, so it's fine.
You just, I posted my first episode 1 thoughts about The Last of Us, and I wasn't even looking at the comments, but someone DM'd me actually on Instagram. I wish I had the name just to shout them out, but they said like, bro, if you haven't already, do not look at your comments. People are spoiling the shit out of things already.
People did it on mine. Yeah, people did it on
mine. You're a walking W, bro. Thanks for letting me know. So I haven't looked at any of my comments on any of my Last of Us videos just for that. Like, I love watching this show blind right now. I love that I'm going in not knowing anything.
Right.
People,
so many people play those games too. It's one of the most popular games of all time. So many people know the plot. Whereas like Game of Thrones, like the books were very popular as well, but I feel like less people, because like there's still that huge group that like when the Red Wedding happened, people were like, "Oh my god, that was crazy," and the book readers were like, "Yeah, I mean,
not really. We saw it.
But yeah, we'll just go right from there to the Last of Us episode 2 if you guys want to give your thoughts on it real quick, or not real quick. Go into it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sticking away from spoilers, so I think we should. But yeah, like I said, I love that I'm watching this show blind because I just think it adds this really cool, like, little shock level value to it. It's kind of like watching The Walking Dead for the first time. Like, you're in a post-apocalyptic world. You just don't know how it's going to be handled and what exactly is going to happen. So episode 2 I thought was great. That whole sequence in the museum or wherever they were, and you just hear like the clickers or the clackers or whatever they're called in the background. Whatever the fuck it's called. It was frightening. I was like, damn, this is really well done. And then I found out that the guy that did the design on the clickers is the same guy that designed Vecna.
Is it? I thought you were going to say it's the same guy in the games.
Oh, is it really?
I think the same guy did like Night King and
he did the Night King.
Couple other things. This dude's a dog. Yeah.
So he's a dog with the practical effects, and I thought they looked sick. Again, I don't know if they're video game accurate. I don't really care about that.
It's the same guy as the games. They look like it.
Yeah. So any video game accuracy for me just gets thrown out the window. I couldn't care less about that, respectfully, just because I haven't played the video game. So 2 episodes in, I'm locked and I'm loving this shit.
Yeah. Did Seth already go? I don't know. I missed a couple things.
I don't really have to say. I think it's just like so far really good adaptation. And I think the best thing is like I've played the games. I played the first one like 4 months ago again, if not less, and yet I'm still having the same amount of enjoyment as people like all 3 of you who are completely new to the story. And I think that's an accomplishment in itself. I know everything.
Yeah, that's a testament to just good TV making, right?
Yeah,
there.
exactly.
That you know what's happening, you know these characters, you know the stories, and you're still like locked in. Like that's just good. That's good television right there.
100%.
Yeah, I'm certain everything that's been said, I probably would have said as well. It's a good show. Emma watched the first and second episode, so now her and I are going to start watching it. She liked it. So we're past the first episode. So Sarah dying and it's a game, you know, she said she saw that coming as soon as she was introduced, but
did that surprise it or any of you? Did it surprise you?
It surprised. Well, no, it didn't surprise me. Like, because as soon as they got in front of the officer, I was like, or the soldier, I was like, oh, she's gonna die. So it surprised me then, but I didn't know it was coming. Emma saw some of the second episode. Like, that's what kind of made her want to watch the first. Like, the second episode was really good. So obviously Sarah's not in it, so she was like, well, this girl's gonna die. So I thought it would affect her a little bit more. Obviously, we just had a kid, so that kind of stuff hurts now. But
my coworker said the exact same thing about the first episode when, spoiler alert, his daughter died.
Yeah.
He has 2 young daughters, I want to say, and he said like that shit just hits harder now that I'm a dad, and I'm like,
yeah,
I'm sorry.
Yeah. Well, that being said, good show, and I'm all in. I'm excited. Sorry.
All right.
I didn't have much to say. I didn't know where we were.
No, I mean, covered it brilliantly, boys. I still have not watched any of it. I'm just not a TV guy, I'm noticing, but I will watch it. But I'm just like the House of the Dragon, I didn't watch until there was like 1 episode left, so I could just like spend it as a day and just crank through it, and that's gonna be what I do here. So I'll give my thoughts when we do our full season review.
That's like my dad, bro. My dad wants to watch The Last of Us, and I'm like, so just watch it. And he's like, nope, I'm gonna wait until it's all out when I can just binge it back to back to back. I'm like, why would he did it for Kenobi, Boba Fett? He's pissed off that he has to wait like 3 years for House of the Dragon season 2 now.
To be fair, I'm pissed off about that.
Yeah, so am I.
All right.
I did what your dad did with House of Dragon. I waited until finished it.
And it was great doing it that way. So trailers, we talked about it earlier, Shazam, Fear of the Gods. And just to touch on what George said prior, how when he said, like, we are family or whatever, very cringe. And, like, it actually, like, disappointed me because put aside the whole DC universe being a shit show, like, just purely looking at this film as a film, I bought in for the trailer. Like, I was like, I enjoy this trailer. Like, this looks like a solid movie, like, that I might enjoy. And then that happened. I was like, okay. It's going to be a little
part?
cringy.
Sorry.
It's all about family.
Oh, yeah. That was in the first trailer, so I didn't.
No, I know. But, yeah, anything else we want to talk about this recent trailer?
I mean, that second trailer also just showed us everything.
Spoiled a lot.
Literally everything.
I think,
same as Quantumania. Yeah.
I think I know George doesn't like the first as much as like Tyler and I said we did, or maybe he just thinks it's fine. I think the Shazam movies are fun, and that's kind of all they are. So I'm like kind of excited for this. It'll be a fun movie. And I will say the trailers for Shazam, all three of them that I remember, because I'm sure there's like multiple for the first one, but they all have a very good rap song intertwined into it. So like what was this one? There was at one point there's like there's obviously
my name is,
yeah, I can't fucking think right now. Thank you. My name is, there's obviously Kendrick's oh god, I can't think, so ignore me, but there's always a very good rap song.
Eminem, isn't it? Not Kendrick.
No, the
very first, my name is
the very
most
first
recent
movie,
one, the very first one.
The very first one was Kendrick's God, it's from fucking, I can't even think. I'm an idiot. Shut up, Cam. But yeah, it's a good rap song in every trailer, and that's my biggest takeaway. Move along.
Good takeaway.
And we'll take that into.
Should have came more prepared.
We'll transition this right into nerd news, which we'll go through pretty quickly. But today is of filming January 29th. 30 days. There's 31 days in January. James Gunn said he was going to release the DC slate, or at least some announcements about the DC future in January. And then someone tweeted like 4 days ago, like either James Gunn has like a time machine or he's going to be releasing something in the next few days. And he like responded to it, and he's like basically saying like, just wait, like it's coming. So 2
more days.
Yeah, either he's going to postpone it. There's 3 possibilities here. He's going to postpone it, which I don't really think is going to happen. What I think is most likely going to happen, it's going to be a very minor announcement, like just like Superman movie coming 2025 or whatever. I don't know. Or yeah, I just really don't see it being an actual full slate or anything close to it that he's going to drop. But basically, we all have to be ready to hop on it real quick.
Yeah,
like if
I was going to say, watch. He's going to drop a full slate the second we hang up on this fucking call. Right. The second we end our podcast, he's going to be like, oh, here's 10 years of DC. Fuck you.
So, yeah, there's for sure 2 outcomes. 1, you don't get a real quick from us this week because nothing was dropped. Or 2, there will be a real quick this week because something was dropped. So, like, be rest assured, if the news gets dropped to the DC slate, we will make a real quick on it and talk about it. And then speaking of the DC future, Jason Momoa, like we've seen like kind of the falling of the Titans the last few months with, The Rock getting axed, Henry Cavill getting axed. And then Jason Momoa is just basically saying like, I haven't heard anything from anyone. No one's taking shit away from me. I'm here to stay. I'm going to play multiple roles. So Jason Momoa seems all in for the DC future. Don't know how that plays into James Gunn's cards, but Jason Momoa feels very confident about his job. Mm-hmm. Moving on to Marvel. Just real quick, we'll run through this. Tobey Maguire says he would return to Spider-Man again, quoting saying, if these guys called me and said, would you show up to do this movie or read a scene and do a Spider-Man thing? It would be a yes. Which, cool if they ever do it. I don't really see them do anything with it, but cool if they do. I don't know. Like, it is money, Cam. But I feel like they'll
throw a shitload of cash at
I feel like Tobey Maguire's personality, though, makes this like at least like a little bit surprising, just because he kind of seems a little standoffish. Like at times.
Eddie Murphy just said the same thing about coming back for Donkey.
Yeah, he did.
I mean, but if I saw the success Puss in Boots: The Last Wish is doing, I would be like, I mean, it's in the top like 80 films of all time on Letterboxd now.
He said Donkey's funnier than
he threw shade at Puss in Boots too.
He's not wrong. He's not wrong though.
Well, I know, but to be fair, like Puss in Boots: The Last Wish, like comedy is not like what is making it so great. Cam, you'd agree, right? Like it's
that's fair. Yeah.
It's not like the comedy is not. It's very.
It's
emotional.
funny. It's funny.
It looks from what I've seen, the animation looks very good.
It is.
I still gotta watch it.
Last couple bits of notes. Invincible live action is still happening. How do you guys feel about that? Is that like something you're excited for? Or kind of like why is it going?
I don't know.
It's one of those things where it's like
I want to see them finish the animated.
Finish the animation, but also I know we were talking about this the other day, but Soups tweeted about like making a live action How to Train Your Dragon. It's like one of those things where it's like, no, like don't.
Soups, you're a great guy, but that is
Soups is a great guy, but like sometimes just like if something works, just don't play around with it. Like I'm sure How to Train Your Dragon and an Invincible live action will do numbers and very well, but it's like the animation is so good, and it's part of the animation style that makes these movies stand out. Like,
can you imagine how bad it would be if they did
I can't even imagine how you make a CGI dragon for a live action film that's also like cute, because that's like a big factor.
Right? Yeah.
Like it wouldn't be like a Game of Thrones dragon.
It'd be like I feel like it'd be like the same quality as Aragorn, that movie, if you remember that way back in the day. It's a deep cut. Yeah, exactly. That's what How to Train Your Dragon would be.
It's interesting. So like, don't do that, please.
The Boys was the most viewed superhero show of 2022, beating out all Disney Plus MCU shows.
Deserved.
I don't know, kind of surprising. Deserved, but I think it's kind of surprising.
I'm not surprised by it. I mean, I kind of, but people are. It's the third season of The Boys, and it's got enough hype. I feel like if it were the first season, it'd be surprising, But by now, there's so much word of mouth. Yeah. Like The Boys is a well-known show. It's on this, in my opinion, it's like on the same level as like a Disney Plus, like Marvel show. Like talked about wise.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you for clarifying that. I really thought you meant quality.
I was confused.
On the same level.
It's leaps and bounds.
Leaps and bounds better.
It's also worth it to say that Stranger Things was the most viewed show of that year too.
Yeah. Crazy high, like 55 billion minutes.
Very high.
Not surprising based on how popular it is, but also not surprising because they were like some full-length movie lengths of episodes. And there was like a part 1 and part 2 season, so there's a lot of content there too, because it's based on minutes. But still. Yeah, so last bit of news, Titans and Doom Patrol will both end after the last seasons. Any of us upset about that?
Yeah, I put that in just because I know a couple people on Instagram DM'd me when that news came out, and I watched both these shows. I will say Titans it's objectively not a great show. It's very entertaining, and I think if you graphic if you enjoy like graphic novels and like dark, edgy superhero stuff, you'll enjoy Titans. I think Doom Patrol is a very good show. I'm very surprised to see that one go. I know that one was received very well, and it's a show that I very much enjoyed. So these just kind of came as shocks because they're two shows that I think we're doing relatively well with viewing numbers as well as critic and audience scores. Maybe Titans not so much on the critic score side, but definitely the audience scores. So it just kind of came as a shock.
Yep. So that does it for nerd news this week, does it for news as a whole this week, and it's time to end it off with the draft. Today's draft is we are doing the best movies of all time that have a one-word title. You guys know this, but just to clarify for people at home, something like The Godfather. No, the counts. So many movies have the precursor in the title. It doesn't count. Same with something like this wouldn't be picked anyways, but like Bardo, and then it's like colon and it has like a bunch of fucking words. If it has a colon or subtitle, that doesn't count either. So just one word, plain and simple. Maybe
big shouts out to Cam picking up a dub last week.
Yeah, big shout out to Cam picking up a dub.
Massive dub.
And make all drafts anonymous. Damn it.
We are gonna keep going with that because we got like such good feedback on the votes on that draft.
Yeah,
so
I like the anonymous.
The draft order this week: Seth number 1, number 2 Cam, number 3 George, and number 4 myself. Let's jump right into it, Mr. Seth.
Okay, there's so many. I
already have something typed in.
Yeah,
do you guys think Seth's pick?
I
don't think you do. I don't think you do.
Ooh.
No, I'm not going to not take this because it's like in my top 5 of all time. I'm going to take Old Boy.
Which one?
Old Boy.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
It's in my top 5 ever.
Okay.
That was on my short list. I'm kind of I'll be interested to see what George thought.
I think I know what you're thinking of me, and that would be my second. But it's going to take.
I have 3. I have 3 one-word movies rated a 99 out of 100.
I know what they are,
and I don't know what I want, but I'm going to do the pandering pick. Gonna go with Whiplash.
Good pick. Didn't think
it
would be a first rounder.
Yeah, I can't believe Goodfellas made
there it is.
That's my third.
can't believe that I got that third. I'd cross that off my list immediately because I thought that's what Seth would take first.
You guys are going to be happy with me.
I went pandering. I'll admit.
Yeah, I think Goodfellas would have been more pandering than Whiplash.
Probably. I don't know.
George.
I'm just thinking TikTok. Fine.
Persona for me is like in my top 20, but it's not even in my 20 movies list because it's not going to get any votes, is it?
That's true.
That's the thing.
But you don't pander.
Yeah, I know, but I'm pandering a little bit this week because there's some.
I feel like there are a lot of good movies you can pick.
Yeah,
there is.
Tyler.
Yeah. Well, Goodfellas somehow didn't even make my short list. I must have just blanked when I was going through my list. Yeah, not like that wasn't conscious choice, Seth. I didn't like leave it off. I was like I missed it. Fourth pick, I'm gonna go with Parasite.
Yeah, that's.
And then I'll bring it home in the second round with Interstellar.
Like that. Good.
That high.
Good.
Why good?
I don't want Interstellar.
Neither.
I don't know if I would have taken Interstellar next round, but it definitely would have been on my list. We'll just go back to back Nolan. Give me Inception.
Yeah.
All right. I wanted it. Jaws.
Yeah, I knew that.
I wanted Jaws.
I like that pick. That
Is it
had
me?
to be picked.
It is me.
Yes, it is.
Yep, you got back to back.
I will go for Alien.
Dang.
And I'll go for Alien and Heat.
Okay.
He also missed my list.
I like
It made my list. I really thought I would be able to snag Heat like a late 5th round.
Fuck. With Seth.
Honestly,
He loves Heat.
But I do
that's
like.
fair. That's fair. That's fair.
Sorry,
That's fair.
So it's me again. Sorry.
Yeah.
Oh. I don't know if I want to.
My man is lost.
No, I mean I have a bunch. I just don't know if I want to do my order. That's my always debate. It's my order or what I think will get votes. I'm gonna go with, and this I don't know if this will get votes, but I'm gonna go with Logan because I want it.
That's a good pick, but
I that will get votes. I've seen.
Yeah, that will get votes.
Yeah.
That
I thought you
was
were gonna say something
lower
else
on my
there.
list.
Yeah.
But I did.
How high do you have that rated, Cam?
97.
Really? Yeah, I need to watch that.
Very good movie.
Yeah, I need to watch
George.
So my next pick is interesting because
It's not like my next highest ranked pick, but I also acknowledge that I think I rate this movie a little lower than most. But I'm gonna pick it because I think the general consensus is this is one of the greatest films ever, and that's Gladiator.
Damn it. That was
I didn't actually have that
It was
down.
between Logan and Gladiator, and I thought the way Tyler and Seth talk about Gladiator, I thought I could get it on the swing around.
See,
I feel like you guys don't love. I feel like you guys don't love Gladiator.
I have
like
it at 4.5.
okay, I mean, I have I have it at 5
out of 5. Yeah, it's a 5 out of 5 for me, but it's also like on my ranking of 5 out of 5 one-word names, it's sitting at 26. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I also acknowledge that I have it a little lower than most people.
Mm-hmm. That's fair.
All right. I am going to go with... I want both of these. Maybe I have back-to-back picks. So I just
You
take
have
both of
2
them?
picks.
I'll go Prisoners and Nightcrawler. The Jake Gyllenhaal double special.
Jake Gyllenhaal, like fanboys,
Yeah.
is all over that.
Yeah, there it is.
Those are
Tyler
two.
won the
Those are
draft.
genuinely two of my highest rated
Nightcrawler's
films
so
of all
good.
time.
Yeah.
That's a really great pick.
Tyler won the
I didn't
draft.
have. Oh no, I did
I
have
fucking
Prisoners.
love.
I
love Nightcrawler.
cannot believe this. I cannot believe I didn't pick this earlier, considering it is my second favorite film of all time, Arrival.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you can have that.
cannot-
I don't think you would have. I think that you could have gotten 5th round, to be
That's
honest.
crazy. I can't believe
I don't
like,
have it rated.
forgot about that movie. That's absurd.
Oh man.
I feel like I just disrespected one of my favorite films.
I have it rated as 0.
Got to go write him a letter after this. Seth has back-to-back.
Oh man.
Or no.
Yeah,
it's me.
No,
Oh,
I
Cam.
gotta
man,
go. I
man.
gotta go.
I was gonna say, yeah.
I'm staring at a list of like 10 movies, and I just want to
one of
pick.
them.
I know.
You know you
I
want
just-
to pick it.
Do it.
We talking last year?
No, we're talking
Okay.
2020.
Oh, I know what you're talking about. I don't know if I want to pick that for this. I'm gonna go with Rocky.
Okay.
Oh,
good pick.
interesting.
That was not my. That was the back.
I didn't expect that to be picked.
Rocky
Interesting.
will do well.
Good movie.
I
Good
like. Yeah, great movie.
No, I like Rocky a lot. I just didn't think it
Yeah.
was picked.
Mhm.
Good movie. Good movie. Now
Now
Seth
Seth
got
has
2.
back-to-back.
Ooh, okay. There's like a few. It's a
There's
shame we aren't
one-
counting the films because there's so many the films.
Maybe next time we can do the
best of
the best movies. I did do a ranking of that the other day.
Yeah, you did. And what'd you forget? You forgot something.
I forgot
The Godfather, maybe.
No, The Lion King. I forgot The Lion King. Yep.
That's crazy. That's
you have that crazy high as well, don't you?
That's 100 out of 100 for
Yeah,
for
I just
a
forgot.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna go for. It feels right because I've gone for Heat, so I might as well go for Thief as well.
Okay.
Fuck you.
And then I don't know, man, because
I
some
know
of the
I'm
other
getting my
ones,
last pick.
some of the other ones in my top 50. Like, have you guys ever heard of Kez?
No, bro.
Yeah, because you're not gonna. Yeah, that's what I
Seth,
mean.
don't
guys.
do this, please.
You have a good draft going.
There's a
bro.
movie. There's a movie set that you love that I think you could pick here and get.
I'm gonna go for one that I do love. I don't love it as high as like a lot of films, but I'm gonna go for, in my opinion, the best A24 film. Moonlight.
Oh, okay, yeah, that's a good pick.
Good pick. I like that. Fuck. Wow, I didn't. I left that off my
plan. I'm going. This is so you guys are talking Soul, but I'm gonna go something else and go Coco.
Wow.
Better pick.
It's a better movie.
That is
better
a better
movie.
But
pick.
bravo to
Better
you for
movie.
knowing what George and I were talking about. Good job.
Yeah, big bravo.
I do love Soul. Could have been Coda.
There's a lot left on my ranking of one-worded movies. A lot that I'm surprised hasn't been picked.
Same.
I could go with something, but I'm not going to do it because I don't want to piss Seth off.
He doesn't have any more picks.
I know he doesn't have any more.
means superhero. He means
Yeah,
superhero.
yeah. I don't mean piss him off because I'm going to take it from him. Just piss him off for picking it. But I'm going to go with one of my personal favorites ever. I'm genuinely surprised it made it this far, and that is Seven.
Wow.
I didn't have that down.
Okay,
I don't have
one,
it super highly
since I only have one pick left and no one will pick after me, I'm just gonna say, like, George, I'm shocked you didn't pick your favorite movie of the 2020s.
Dune.
Oh
Yeah.
wow,
That's
I'm
so
shocked
shocking.
about
To me.
that,
I thought that was
too.
gonna be his pick one.
I think every movie I picked I think is better than Dune except for Gladiator.
Okay.
Oh wow.
I also have a lot on my list of one-word rankings. Dune sits at 19.
Okay, fair.
Wow.
I just thought your like personal aberration for that film seemed a little higher than the other ones you had.
I tried to go with like what's the next highest on my
Right.
ranking for this one, as opposed to
Okay.
All right. Last pick. I feel like my draft's really film bro right now, so I'm gonna kind of switch it up and go with a comedy, which is kind of film bro comedy. But I'm gonna go Superbad.
Nice.
That was in my.
That's a good pick. I kind of wish I got that now. That's a
that
good
wasn't
pick.
anywhere near my list. I like that.
I do
pick.
love Super Pick.
So many on my list did not get picked that I thought would be.
That's a good
Seth,
pick.
I thought the film I was talking about was Psycho. I thought you were gonna pick a Psycho.
I don't have that at 5.
Really?
Really?
I thought you had it at 5. Okay.
After Sun snubbed.
Yeah,
After
Sun.
Sun.
After
I think
Sun,
it's
I
too
was
small
nearly.
at this
I was
point.
nearly gonna go for Tar, honestly.
Tar would
Ooh,
have been
wow.
I didn't pick my highest rated one-worded movie ever, Stalker, actually,
Wow.
because I didn't think that would get votes. So I got my number 2 and 3.
Yeah,
and
I
4.
think like Fargo was quite high for me.
Yeah,
Fargo was a good
Fargo,
one. I really
Fargo
like
is in that list of 10 movies that I was looking at. Also, not mentioned Soul. We talked about, I guess.
Yeah.
Caddyshack, I have up there. Sicario.
Chinatown's for me is like really really high.
Would you guys have accepted 1917?
I
was
have
wondering
that.
that. I was
I
wondering.
didn't know if that counted, but like,
Yeah.
It's not a word, is it?
Kinda counts.
But then
That
also, like, I know we didn't pick it, but like Coda, if you're not going to count 1917, you can't count Coda because that's an acronym.
Yeah, it's an acronym.
Oh, yeah, it is.
So I would have allowed it because I feel like if there's no spaces in the title, I'll allow it.
Yeah,
Aliens.
Ratatouille.
Aliens. Yeah,
Aliens. Yeah, I'm surprised no one picked that.
Her, one of the best romance movies of all
yeah.
time.
A movie I really like.
Joker.
Oh shit! Totally forgot.
Oh, I
Joker.
forgot about that.
That's the one I was talking about.
Fargo's a classic.
I said that. Argo, also on top of Fargo.
Oh,
No.
So, wow, we
My list. Is Argo
Hereditary.
movies.
completely bumped out.
Hereditary.
Kurosawa. Hereditary. That was towards the back of my list. Yeah, I
Ikiru.
think Memento, Ikiru,
Zodiac.
Ran. Zodiac.
Dune,
These three
Memento.
movies, I don't think would get that many. I mean, these three next movies, I think would get a ton of votes, but I don't think they really should have been
Casablanca.
picked. Like Transformers, Drive, Babylon. I think.
Oh, were you talking Spider-Man, or were you talking Joker? Because I didn't know if
I was talking Joker.
No, okay, I didn't know if you were counting the hyphen, and that's what I was thinking of when you said a superhero.
I don't know if I would have counted. I think
Yeah, also a good one. But I don't know if we would have counted the hyphen. That's what I was thinking. Creed.
We have a great collection of movies, though. George, you want to
Magnolia?
Yeah, so we got Seth with the first pick took Old Boy, Alien, Heat, Thief, and Moonlight. Cam at the second pick took Whiplash, Jaws, Logan, Rocky, and Coco. Myself, George, with the third pick took Goodfellas, Inception, Gladiator, Arrival, and Seven. And Tyler with the final pick took Parasite, Interstellar, Prisoners, Superbad, and Nightcrawler. Sorry, Nightcrawler, then Superbad.
I will also say, like, to people listening, we don't mix up the order on, like, the anonymous poll doesn't mix up the order. It's still going to be Seth, myself, George, Tyler. So if you're listening, you have an advantage to know whose list it is. But it's for the Twitter trolls who just come in for George.
Oh, First off, I still finished second, and you only beat me by like 2%.
Hey man, the people know, and the people scam.
Honestly, we need a Leslie Andrea Riseborough investigation into Cam, because I was tracking that poll all week, and Cam had a surge late in the week.
Yeah, Cam did.
I really didn't do anything. Shockingly, I should have created loads of accounts. Sometimes I text my friends.
I need to see Cam's text receipts to his entire fraternity.
Kate Blanchett probably tweeted saying, like, "I've never seen a draft as competent and amazing as number 4 on ReelTok Podcast episode 20."
Hey man, I simply had the best draft. It's A.
Listen, Cam, I'm happy
for your W. All right, you ended my 4-game win streak. Although Tyler went on a 4-game win streak, I went on a 4-game win streak. Maybe it's Cam's turn to go on a 4-game win streak.
No, maybe this is my turn to finally fucking get one. That'd be great.
Yeah,
you got this. Seth. I believe in you.
Seth, if there's one draft you have a chance of winning because you didn't pander, it's this one. So
no, I disagree. I think it's going to be you or Tyler 100%. The Nolans and the Villeneuves, like,
they'll love it. They'll love it.
Yeah, they'll love be all over that.
All right, fellas.
Make sure you go vote on Twitter for the winner of the draft. Thank you all for watching episode 21 of the ReelTok Podcast. Again, subscribe, rate, follow us on all our socials. Again, Patreon is now live. Go to the link in our description and go check it out. Merch coming soon, and stay tuned for the Real Quick announcing the ReelTok collection. Have a good one.
Go Boilers.